Oh. Oh no, do I have to bring it closer? Hold on. Sorry, I did not see what I looked like before I got on here. Oh gosh. Let me see if I can clean off my screen real quick. That's as clear as it's gonna get. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Girl, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? I miss the days when reality TV stars were just normal. I miss those days. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on, but all I know is that I just do not have the time to keep up with all of this. Like, y'all have to do y'all business on the show and keep it on the show. This outside stuff is far too consuming. It's far too consuming. Oh, I am exhausted. I'm really exhausted. I'm really exhausted from these reality TV shows. I'm exhausted. It's too much. They're consuming too much of our lives. They need to leave it on the show and that's it. Like, stop bringing your mess off the show, because now I'm more interested in what's happening off the show than what's happening on the show that I'm watching. That's going to be a problem. How are y'all doing? Thank you. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to get it to, like, because I have a show. So I'm trying to get it to, and I don't know. It might be ponytail. It might be ponytail. But thank you, Simone. Thank you so much. Hey, Vaca. Oh, talking about Juan. Oh, you talking about Lenny. Yes, we can discuss Lenny. Hey, I am Rachel. I am Rachel said, I'm about to catch one of your lives. Thank you for accommodating and choosing this time, because it works for those of us who are based in the UK and France. Oh, awesome. I did not know that, but I will take that into consideration. I actually moved this because I was getting work done on my apartment and I forgot. I was like, oh. So I had to move it. Sorry, 12 p.m. West Coast lunch people. I forgot. I forgot that he had to fix something in my bathroom today. But now that I know that, I am Rachel, I will take it into consideration. Also, UK people, I am trying to get a hookup for Love Island UK, because I just cannot wait for it to come on Hulu. Hulu takes forever to put it up. And I had one link, but they blocked me. Your country blocked me. So I'm trying. Hey, JLV. How are you? I am Rachel also said, we have so much to unpack. My God, Robin and Juan, Brandy Glanville. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on it all. It's too much. Like, they are getting very messy, and Bravo needs to grip their talent up. It's too much. Hey, Dr. M said, I'm doing double duty today. Nikki on my laptop and Love Island UK on my phone. Oh, thank you, Dr. M. Hey, Joy Courtney said, hey, Nikki, hey, Star family. Y'all are going to get me through this late office day I have ahead of me. Oh, I'm glad that we can help. Hey, Denard, how are you? Hey, George, how are you? Nicole said, girl, I'm here for the mess. What is going on? Hey, Simply Simone. Simply Simone said, hey, family, just wrapped a morning of baking for my TikTok. I know that's right. And chilling before my birthday trip tomorrow. Oh, yes. What are you baking and where are you going on your birthday trip? If you don't mind sharing, Simply Simone. Hey, Tracy. Tracy said, Star family, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tracy. Minerva said, work is working. Like, ugh, I know. I know. Thank you, Tia Bia. Thank you, Dahlia. Hey, Alex, how are you? Guys, I also want to say thank you to everybody who has been so patient. You guys know, one, it's pilot season, and you guys know that I'm back in LA performing shows that I was doing before the pandemic. So, like, my time is just crazy. I really never have any time. This week, I have a bit more time. Next week will be a lot better for me because I'm going back to just performing one show a month instead of multiple shows during a week. So it's just been crazy. But thank you all for being so understanding. And we have so much to talk about. We have so much to talk about. That's why I'm doing all of these reality TV chats until I'm caught up and I have time to break them up into like separate videos. We're going to have to do this for a minute, but thank you all for being so understanding. I really, really do appreciate it. I mean, I know we had a system and I had to change it up, but I thank you all for going with the flow. Love you. Yakrates, cha-ching. Thank you for the super chat. Yakrates said, hey, Nikki.Star family in chat. I cannot wait for Nikki to talk about ROBYN and her saving her personal life for a paywall and not her job. This is the thing, right? I hope you guys understand. But we have to first get into the ROBYN and Juan stuff that just dropped before we get into the review of the episode, just because it's just so fresh. And I think it's going to play into the remainder of the season and why the season and last season went the way it went. Thank you so much, Yakrates, for the super chat. Thank you. Hey, Dayla. Dayla said, yes, Nikki, we are exhausted about the behind the scenes stuff. It's too much. It's too much. Like, it's too much. And I feel like Bravo is probably going to try to go the way of 90 Day Fiance and start filming, like breaking the fourth wall and filming their talent off of the show. And I just do not think it's going to work. If Bravo, if you're considering doing something like that, look at the numbers for 90 Day Fiance. Look at the viewership for 90 Day Fiance Tell All, the 4-part series where they went behind the scenes and, you know, broke the fourth wall and took the audience along with their cast after they stopped filming. It didn't do well because it was not interesting, which is why, unfortunately, my 90 Day Fiance people, why I didn't review it. We didn't need 4 parts. We did not need to see Andre and Jovi, you know, get into it at a bar after the show. It wasn't, they're not interesting enough. This cast is interesting when you like force drama, no shade. Like, that's why you need reality TV show producers. That's why you need directors. That's why you need, you know, script supervisors and, you know, not necessarily writers, but you need a story producer, somebody who's going to form a story, because at the end of the day, these people's everyday lives are just not interesting. It's not. And I hope Bravo does not go that route, because it's just, it's a waste of everybody's time. Andy said, how about backcombing at the roots to give it a bit of volume? I did. See, my hair at the top, it's just really fine. My hair is really, really fine. The back is where I got all the volume. And I don't know if it's because this was my leave out for like years. And maybe my hair has just become so limp because I've pressed it so much. Maybe that's it. But I wish my front had the volume of my back. But it's probably going to go ponytail tonight. It is what it is. Dahlia said, ask Kojo from Little Black Book 91. He could probably get you a... Who is that? Who is that? Hey Johnny. Johnny said, "Hey Nikki, I miss seeing you. So glad you're doing well. Miss you 1,000 times. Thank you. Miss you times 1,000. Thank you." El Michelle said, "RHOBYN and Giselle, they are outsmarting the viewers. They believe we are only as smart as they are." Yeah, they're about to outsmart themselves out of a check. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. Hey, Cam Delete. Cam Delete said, "It's strange that RHOBYN would choose a cheater over a bigger check and a good comeback story." Listen, at the end of the day, she loved that man. She's loved him since she was a child. She's loved him since she was a child. She's not going to just stop after giving basically your whole life, your youth, your young adulthood, now you're aging, you know what I mean? And you've given so much of your life to him and given him children. I don't think she's gone anywhere. I don't think she's going anywhere. Thank you, Josie. I'm back, kind of, sort of. Hey, Pink Petal said, "Honestly, RHOBYN needs to go. If I was the producers, I would be pissed." I'm telling you right now, everybody at Bravo is pissed. Pissed. She got 2 kids. D said, "I need to understand why RHOBYN thinks everyone else should share their lives, but suggests you check behind the paywall if you want to know anything. What is she in the show for them?" I'm telling you, and I'm not saying I have the tea and I know this personally, but from what I know that this isn't good. This isn't good. Like, anybody can see that this is just not good for her. Dahlia said, "I think Bravo is absolutely trying that fourth wall break with Potomac. I've watched almost every season of every Real Housewife show and never heard Andy Cohen's name mentioned before. Really bizarre to hear." Yeah. Miss GG88 said, "What I didn't care about was that 90-day thinks that they had enough for 4 parts. I refuse to watch any of it. Same. It just wasn't good. Like, I tried to check in and I was like, yeah, I'm not reviewing this." I Am Rachel said, "Girl, even Carlos King went in on Potomac." Yeah, I have that. I'll post that later. He said, "I love you, RHOBYN, but I would have given you the pink slip." She's in trouble, guys. She's in trouble. Jasmine91 said, "I wonder if these housewives are seeing that Bravo isn't enough anymore and don't know how long this will last." Listen, we will get into it. NC, I want to do 2 more and then I'll hop into it. NC said, "RHOBYN is playing in our faces. She was way too overconfident, re her position on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Bravo needs to send a message and demote her to bring her down a couple of notches." NC, I think you're onto something. Kiki said, "Karen was right. She may have put a little extra fluff on the story, talk about that lady look like her, but she wasn't lying on wine." Ciao. Asatu said, "Maybe that is why Robert," y'all are messy, "did a Patreon because she knows she might not be back." I hope so. Listen, let's talk about it. So, ever since this drop, I have been like collecting as many receipts as I can. Shout out to Tracy. Shout out to Simply Simone. Shout out to all of you who were sending me so much stuff. Guys, I took what I could because it was just like, as soon as this broke, my inbox was flooded on TikTok and on Instagram. So I tried to get as much information as I can. What we're first going to do is talk about when this first broke. This first broke because I believe his name is Giorgio Says. I have a clip of what he talked about. His name is Giorgio Says on TikTok, and he said that the woman that Juan allegedly was having an affair with sent him information. So I'm first going to show you his video and his thoughts. I did not speak on that because we do receipts here. We cannot leave the door open for gossip because it's not who we are. And it just gets to a point where for me, I just feel like it just gets ugly because what are you talking? What are we gossiping about, right? If we don't have no receipts, if we don't really have anything to talk about, I'd rather not. If it's not factual, I'm good. We just don't do that here. Also, we're happy. I only gossip if I'm going through. Okay. Anyway, so I just did not want to get into it. But shout out to RHOBYN because she confirmed everything. So I'm first going to show you the clip from Giorgio Says. Then we're going to get into the Reasonable Shady podcast, the clips that I could get from the people who posted the Patreon. Thank you so much, because I was not paying for that. And then we will get into Carlos's response to this RHOBYN mess, RHOBYN and Juan mess. So let's get into. The first clip is from Giorgio Says.
Wow, I guess living in Maryland helps because I was just reached out to by someone who allegedly dated Juan during the end of COVID for over a year. Let's talk about it. So this user who will stay anonymous reached out to me and basically let me know that she dated Juan for over a year during COVID. She sent me a screenshot of where she tagged her location just so that I knew that she was telling the truth. She did mention that ROBYN does know, but asked her to not make it public, obviously. She also shared the very last text message that he sent her, which was on January 26th of 2022, so just almost a year ago at this point. She did not respond, but she explains why she stopped talking to him. She also shared a hotel invoice, which I have taken out a lot of the personal information because it did have Juan's personal info, so I've taken that out, but everything else on here is pretty much a normal invoice. This is a real hotel in Maryland, and I believe she was going to send this to producers, but I think she just didn't want to get caught in the crossfire because obviously ROBYN knows about this and didn't want her to make it public. But it appears Juan allegedly was doing some weird things. Here's a close-up of the invoice. You can see Juan Dixon's name is on it. She also claimed that the reason why she stopped messing around with him was because he likes to, I guess, meet girls and I guess have his way with them, but then pass them off to his friends, which kind of sounds like ST to me a little bit. It's giving that vibe. She also said that one of the friends, who she did send me who this person was, came to her hotel room door when they, I guess, were going to take her back to the airport to fly back. And she says that the friend exposed himself and said that she needed to, fill in the blank. So that scared her, that turned her off. And so she went back home and she stopped all communication with him. But this is crazy. I'm still digging up some stuff, but I wanted to throw this out there because it does seem like things don't look as they appear on TV, at least from what people are telling me. And this specific person didn't really seem to care if she was kept anonymous because she was just tired of, I guess, seeing the fakeness on TV. But let me know your thoughts as always.
Okay, so I think it was you, simply someone who sent that to me, and a bunch of you guys tagged me in it on TikTok, and I believe that was like last week, like before this last episode. Two things I want to say about that. One, that woman was obviously trying to get on the show. Obviously, like, why reach out to this person, produce all of these receipts? You don't want to be kept a secret. You want to get on the Real Housewives of Potomac. At this point, everybody knows that this is a really good mindless check that you can acquire if you don't mind putting your business out there and having people think that you are a certain way. She was obviously trying to get on the show, and Juan was just dumb enough to take the bait. The second thing I want to say, where Giorgio says it looks like this is kind of ST, meaning sex trafficking. I don't think it's that. I think it's when you reach out to a man that is married or in a relationship, a committed relationship or whatever you think about it, that he is openly with someone. You reach out to him and say that you're a fan and that, you love his wife and you love the show and you want to be with him intimately. I don't think it's that much of a leap for him to assume that you're a working girl, right? Because what other reason would a woman send out a message like that to somebody who they know from TV? Not know, but you know what I mean? Like, you're saying, hey, I'm a fan of the show. I like what you're doing on the show. I want to be in an intimate relationship with you. Like, it's giving working girl. So I did not think that it was insulting, in my opinion, right? For Juan to be like, yo, I smashed, I did what I needed to do with this woman. I gave her whatever kind of money. She wasn't happy with the money. She hit up ROBYN for more money. You'll hear about that in the reasonable shady clip that I'm about to show. But I just didn't think that it was too far off for him to suggest that his friend get with her as well if he had a good time. To be quite honest with you guys, that's like the business out here. Like, you're not going to, or just in entertainment in general, you're not going to see working girls like you would, you know, in a hood, or and like, you know, and working girls in the way that we know, right? You're not going to see them on the corner. You're not going to, you know, see them running up to cars saying, hey, do you want me to, you know, smash your pass or whatever. You're not going to see them at a certain place trying to, you know, acquire some kind of money in exchange for sex. That, we have to be honest here, it's no shame. That is pretty much the working girl way for working girl men, women, everybody in between and outside who come from a certain class, who are mainly lower class or working class or in some kind of poverty. When you are a working girl that has a certain kind of clientele, you don't look like the working girls that you see or that you expect to see, or the idea of a working girl, right? From like TV or just from, you know, what you have seen living in certain areas. That's not it. I think I told this story before, but I remember going to Vegas, and my sisters and I never been to a casino. So it was like our thing. We were like, oh my God, let's go to a casino. Let's play the slots. I lost 40 cents and I got the hell out of there. Anyway, I remember seeing this handsome guy, and he was walking with 4 women on each arm, right? And it was very weird to me. Like, everybody was beautiful, but it was just very weird to me because I'm like, why are they all walking in a straight line? First of all, it's a busy casino. People are trying to get around them. Please move. But I noticed, and my sisters and I noticed, that nobody was like bothered by the fact that they were walking in this line. Like, we were all like, because I hate line walkers. If you're going to walk in a straight line, do not walk in a group or a clump. Like, please, people are trying to get around you, right? It's the, you know, girl who lived in New York, right? So I remember just watching that. And I remember that aside from my sisters and I, nobody was annoyed by them. And then I remember the guy walking around taking these beautiful women who were dressed to the nine. I'm telling you guys, any designer that you could think of, they were dressed in that. And he was just parading these ladies around to tables. And then, like, slowly but surely, these high roller dudes started peeling these ladies off and just walking away. And that's when we were like, oh my God, high class call girls. You know what I mean? Like, we had never seen it, but you would never think that these gorgeous women who look like they come from a certain class would be working like this, like would be working girls. But that's just the reality. So when you have something like social media that then jumps into that, then you have working girls who have another avenue to use, right? So instead of going to Vegas, getting a pimp and, you know, advertising yourself that way, you can hop on social media, post your salacious pics where people are just following you because it looks like you just got a bad body, a beautiful BBL, and you just look good, right? But nobody knows what this woman's job is. No, and she doesn't have to tell us, right? But you just look beautiful every day. Nobody sees you going to work. You never type anything about the stresses of your job or anything, but you just have all of this money. You don't talk about your rich parents, but you're everywhere, right? You're in the Dominican Republic. Now you're in France, and you are just wearing the latest fashions, and you just look gorgeous, but nobody knows where this heifer works. Probably a working girl, right? So I said all that to say that's what I think this situation is. And if you're a smart working girl, you marry wealthy and you get out of the game, and then you join a reality TV show. That's what I think is happening here. I don't think that Juan was trying to sex traffic this girl. I think that is just how it goes with working girls of a certain class. So that's the second thing I wanted to talk about. Let's get into this Reasonably Shady podcast clip where ROBYN talks about how
alone time.
Yes.
And he loves to be like together. He loves attention.
Okay.
He loves to have, whatever.
Okay.
So that's like a balance that we have to kind of really, really work on.
Right.
But it's nothing that's going to this situation is not going to break our family up. You
Oh
know what I mean?
no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Not for
It's
some
just-
Instagram hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So what I said on the podcast was like, yeah, when we were filming, I just knew it was going to come out. And I
Right.
wasn't going to dance around it at
No.
all. You know, I was going to say I'm aware of it. We've dealt with it. We've talked about it. It's been a issue in our relationship and we worked through it and here we are.
Right. Right. And you know, probably stronger because of it.
Yeah. I mean, and like I even said on the reunion, I'm not quite sure if it's aired or not, what has aired at this point, but you know, the criticism and the hate and all of that makes us stronger.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That brings us together because this world is crazy.
Yes.
This world is crazy.
Yes.
So
And I'm happy that
and then it's like you see,
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but you see it's like this girl reached out to him talking about, oh, I love Robyn and Giselle. And then it
Yeah.
turns into this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you can't trust anybody out
No.
here. Like, how do you even know who you can trust?
No. And what I was gonna say was I'm happy that he at least like talked to you about it. Like some dudes when they busted, they just denied. Like, nope, I don't know what
Right.
you're talking about. Nope, it wasn't in my phone. Nope, I don't even have a phone. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my God, no, I never leave the house. What do you mean? It's COVID? I was in the house. Like, at least he was like giving you his version, his side of the story, his truth.
Right.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah. And then every time she would reach out, he would tell me, you know, like
Yes.
this girl is texting me again. And I'm like, oh, don't block her yet. Don't block her. And then finally he's like, I
Why
gotta,
we not blocking this bitch?
because like I said, yeah, did I want her to get angry and tell the world? No.
Yeah.
Like just because like who needs this in their life? Nobody.
Right.
Right. But I don't walk around acting like my life is perfect. You know what I'm saying? I don't really and I don't criticize other people for what they do in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I guess I just kind of expect people to kind of understand that. But, you know, whatever. People, she said something like, I'm going to become famous off of y'all. So.
But you haven't even come forward, sweetie.
Right. I mean, and maybe she has, but I had seen her commenting on blogs like throughout the season, like anytime.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you remember the one time the young lady ran to Twitter talking about, I saw Juan and Zara with the woman.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
his assistant coach.
Right.
And they're buying clothes for the season. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
That was posted on the Jasmine brand. And she was in the comments.
Oh, what's she
Talking
saying?
about, yeah, that's true. And he's a player. And whatever. I don't know. She was in the comments doing
Doing her thing.
And it's
Okay.
like, okay, you just really want to be seen. Like
Yeah.
they're
very thirsty people out here. The
Yeah.
thirst is real.
yeah. And it's like, what do you get out of this? You're still not getting the $4,000. You know, you got some attention. And okay, I'm talking about, hey girl, I'm talking about you on Reasonably Shady. Like, stop. Like, is your life better? Has your life become better?
That's a good question.
That's what people really should ask themselves when
Yes.
they are like so hell bent on trashing other people and wishing
Yeah.
bad for other people. Does this make your life better?
Right.
Does this make you
That's a
feel
good
better about
question.
yourself?
Yeah.
Does this take all of your problems and worries away?
Right. No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
No.
But yeah, Juan, were you stupid? Yes. I mean, that's the moral, the end of the story.
As long as he's learned his lesson.
Yeah. And hey, if we want to go into season 8 talking about it, we'll talk about it. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not running from it. We will talk about it. Juan might tell y'all to kick rocks.
Right.
If they ask me to talk to him about it on camera.
Oh, that's not happening.
He might ask me to kick rocks or tell them, but
Yes.
yeah, I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And people might say, well, why didn't you talk about this season 7? This was not something that Juan would just want me to bring up.
And it was a non-issue.
You know what I mean?
And y'all had
Yeah.
other things
And
to
at
work
the-
out.
Right.
Like a prenup, like all
Right.
that. Like y'all, you know, you were living your life. And this actually happened way before we even started filming season 7.
Right.
And it was, as far as I was concerned, I didn't think about it anymore. It was dead. It was a dead issue.
Right.
You and Juan had worked it out. Like, so you're gonna bring up drama?
Right.
No, let the other girls find out something and bring it up. Like, you're not gonna bring up your own drama.
Right. Exactly.
Well, I don't think you should.
No, why would you do
And I'm
that?
sure people are gonna be like,
Well, Giselle, you knew. Why didn't you bring it up?
because Robyn's my friend.
Exactly.
The end.
All right. So before we get into what Carlos said, I wanted to first address this because I talked about how in with the Juan situation when I assumed that Giorgio said ST. And the reason why I assumed that is because on TikTok you can't say certain things or your video will get banned. And a lot of people say ST when they mean sex trafficking, or unaliving when they mean suicide. So that is where I said that. But there are a lot of people who are responding, and I wanted to address the comments because I think these are important. So let's respond to that, because I just talked about Juan, but I did not talk about the lady in question, her perspective. So let's talk about it. Taina said she didn't consent. We know that he and Robyn don't care about the exploitation of human beings. This leads back to Juan's case where he told one of his students, or one of the young men that he was training, to keep the sexual assault that he had received from one of his employees quiet. So that is what this is an attain to, male and female. Let's talk about that, because she didn't consent, right? And I do apologize if I made it appear, or because I didn't expound on her perspective, that I made it seem that it was okay for Juan to assume, or send his friend over to expose himself to this woman. I do not agree with that, and I do not agree with anything going down with anyone if they are not consenting to it. The reason why I said that was because, and didn't expound on the other part, was because I was just talking about that section, but also I was thinking about, dating myself, Pretty Woman, right? Do y'all remember Pretty Woman? When Jason Alexander's character, who was best friends with Richard Gere, where he just assumed that because Julia Roberts' character was a working girl, that she would be down for, to sleep with him because she was sleeping with Richard Gere for a certain amount of money. And he went over and tried to get with her, and she didn't consent, and he did not understand why, because she was a working girl. I think that is the situation. I think that Juan absolutely told his friend to maybe give her a try, which is why the friend came out there. And this young lady probably thought that she was just getting a ride to the airport because Juan didn't show up. And here is this guy trying to get with her, which is essentially, and I'm just being very honest here, guys, how working girls of a certain class work. You work by word of mouth, by recommendations, which is why you see certain, I was about to say somebody, which is why you see certain people who have no kind of job, right? But they're at every event, right? They're at everything. You don't realize, you just think that they're a socialite. You don't realize this woman, man, or whoever is working. They are working. You can't put out an advertisement because you're dealing with people who have lots of money, who have lots of connections, and who are probably in positions where they have to act higher than thou, you know what I mean? Where they have to put on, mainly politicians and things like that. Politicians are always sleeping with working girls, working men all the time, but they can't advertise. So they can't go out and just say they want to get somebody. Working girls, working men advertise themselves by word of mouth. So that is essentially what I was speaking on. But yes, this woman did not consent, and that's not okay. Thank you for bringing that up, Taina. Let's go to AI. AI said, even if she's a working girl, did Juan pay her to sleep with his friend? No. Then he doesn't have that right in any way. Absolutely agree. She got 2 kids. D said, this convo is triggering me a little, thinking someone is a working girl and thinking it's normal to just offer to your friend is predatory. Agreed. But this is why I want to say that it's not far off to assume that this woman is a working girl, because she reached out to Juan with intentions for sexual intimacy. And that is proven in the Giorgio's receipts. So that is why I assume that, but it's not normal to just offer anybody, working girl or not, working person or not, anybody who's working in the sex industry without consent. It's not okay. So thank you for bringing that up. Yasmin said, I think this topic is a little dangerous. Juan is a dog. I disagree, Yasmin. This topic I don't think is dangerous. I think we can have this conversation civilly, which is why we're having it. Juan is a dog, period. But he says he didn't call his friend to sleep with her. This woman did not say she was forced to sleep with his friend, but she did say that he exposed himself to her, which is why she no longer felt comfortable with Juan and broke off the relationship. I'm Awake said, no, unacceptable to just invite a friend because you think she's a pro. Juan is just a terrible person based on this and what happened at Coppin. Less than smart. Agreed. Keep in mind, this happened around COVID. So this happened like right at the beginning of the pandemic. So I think that this was before Coppin. Make It Make Sense said the working girl, working boy still go up to a car window if you're a Rolls Royce. Okay, make it make sense. Why did I highlight that? Thank you for being here. Dahlia also said, let's keep it real. Juan thought that she was a pass around. I agree with that as well. Good for her for putting her foot down. I don't think he thought that she was a pass around, but I do think that one could assume that if this woman is reaching out to you for sexual intimacy and asking for money for that time, that's what the situation is. Good for putting her foot down, but I can see why he'd make that assumption. Agree. And again, she got 2 kids. D. If this conversation is a little too hard for you, I do apologize. I'm not aware of what people have endured. I'm just trying to speak as civilly about a situation as I can. But thank you all for pointing out certain things so that I can expound on something or correct something. She got 2 kids. D said, I'm a part of a survivor group, and some of this is a little too triggering. Some of the excuses in these comments are absolutely what people come up with when a woman is passed off to a friend and harmed. I apologize. That is my work group chat. And that is true. And I do apologize if you do feel that way. That is not what the context of this conversation was. I was just speaking about the receipts that were given and my opinion and conclusion based on what was given, because like I said, I don't talk about stuff unless it's proven. And this woman has, put up these documents and has gone to several people. GEORGIO was the only one that took the bait, because if you listen to Reasonably Shady, RHOBYN said that she has been trying for a while to get on the show in some kind of format. She posted this on blogs. She was sending it to bloggers. I don't know why no other blogger but GEORGIO says pick this up, but that is what happened. Either way, it was not right for Juan to whatever his dealings with her was his dealings. He should not have made these assumptions about this woman. If that is the case, because we do have to be honest, we don't know what is true or what isn't. Like, RHOBYN didn't confirm anything concerning that situation, but she did confirm that Juan cheated with this woman. Either way, if there's no consent, it's not right. So yeah, I wanted to talk about those things because I didn't want, anybody new or, returning member to leave with, to leave and think that you weren't heard and my opinion wasn't further explained. Thank you, Tracy. Tracy, thank you for the super chat. Tracy said, wait a minute, RHOBYN passed around the phone. I guess the phone of Karen, talking about the picture of her and Mr. Blue Eye. So Karen cheating rumors are okay, but she is off limits. Sounds like RHOBYN's taxes all over again. Absolutely agree. And before I give my opinion, I'm going to play Carlos and read some comments, and then we'll come back. But I think that it's very important to hear a part of Carlos's response to what just happened. And then I'll come in and I'll give my perspective.
I'm going to keep it all the way real on this podcast today because I am pissed. RHOBYN admitting that she hid her story from the world on the show that pays you is a slap in the face to everyone involved, including the audience. And the fact that you have the audacity to go on your podcast to reveal this, we spent this entire half-assed season with these made-up storylines about Chris Bassett. And yes, I'm going to say made up because I allegedly was told that a few of the housewives had a meeting before filming about what the storyline was going to be, and that this Chris Bassett stuff was part of that conversation. I've always said there was something off about this season, and now I know what it is. None of y'all are living your real lives. Your admission, RHOBYN, has proven the fact that Potomac is nothing but a show about women exposing each other and throwing each other under the bus. It's not about real friendships, real relationships, or your real life. It's not about that anymore. I feel like the only persons who really want to give their real lives and really are looking for a connection with the cast is Candace, Wendy, child, even Mia. The OGs, y'all are a big disappointment.
Oh, he was upset. And the reason why I wanted to put his perspective up there, because he's a reality TV show producer, and he has produced shows such as The Real Housewives of New Jersey and The Real Housewives of Atlanta before going on to do his own shows, Love and Marriage Huntsville, and all those other shows that have spawned from that. He was really upset. And the reason why I wanted to show that is because I feel like if Carlos is this pissed, production is even more pissed than Carlos, because Carlos isn't getting a check from the show. He's getting a check doing his own thing, talking about it. But the producers, I'm telling you right now, are getting cussed out by Bravo. Are getting cussed out by Bravo. Like, why in the hell is your cast member breaking this story on her own platform and not our platform that gave her the platform that she's breaking the story on right now? Like, when I saw this, when it all went down, I was just like, oh, ROBYN. I don't think ROBYN is safe, right? I don't think Giselle is safe, because Giselle would have been fine had she not said that last part where she was just like, and to anybody who says, Giselle, you already knew about this and you didn't say anything, that's because I'm her friend. I'm telling you right now, the next season of friendship is going to be tested, right? Because Giselle is going to have to talk about ROBYN and this Juan situation, and also she's going to have to be in the conversations about if this relationship is a sham or not. And the reason why I feel like their friendship is going to be tested is because Giselle is not going to lose her check to protect ROBYN. Now, ROBYN would absolutely jeopardize her check or lose her check to protect her friendship that she has with Giselle. I've said this before. I think that Giselle is not the friend to ROBYN that ROBYN is to Giselle. And I think we're probably going to have a Meredith and Lisa Barlow season where that friendship just breaks apart, because if Giselle has to choose, she will choose that check even over ROBYN, because at the end of the day, let's be real, nobody on this show is a Bethany Frankel, in a sense where nobody has made anything off of the show without Bravo getting a cut that they can live off of and not need this check. So I think at the end of the day, this friendship is absolutely going to be tested, because Bravo is not okay with this. They've already filmed the reunion. And here ROBYN is breaking a story on her Patreon that viewers have to pay for to hear the story, and not just something that Bravo can take a snippet from and put on their platform. And also, she did not volunteer this information to Bravo during the season that it happened, or during the season that she was going to bring it up if it were brought up. ROBYN says, oh, I was waiting. I don't know how the hell to shut this up. But ROBYN is just like, oh, I was waiting for somebody on the show to bring it up. Well, the only person who knew about this were two people, right? One was Karen, but nobody believed Karen, right? Nobody said that Karen was credible. Karen used to always bring up some stuff, and she never believed it. Karen and Michael, also known as Gollum, they would always bring it up that this marriage was not going to happen, and it's because they all kind of knew something, right? But the only one who had the receipts outside of ROBYN was Giselle, and she didn't say anything. And that is where friendships and reality TV start to clash. Because if this is your real friend, I absolutely understand Giselle not saying anything. But if your job is to talk about your life and other people's lives and put their business out there, like that's the job, for you to put your business out there for viewers to judge, right? Or comment or review, that if that is the job and you are not doing that, you are putting yourself in jeopardy of no longer having that job. Because as we have seen with the Real Housewives of New York, Bravo has no loyalty. They will cut a show or cut a cast member in a second even if they're performing well for whatever reason, right? So these two are in a very difficult place. These two being Robyn and Giselle. And I don't think that they're not smart. I didn't want to say that. But ladies, this was not smart. I would have never talked about this, Robyn. I would have never talked about this. And then to put it behind a paywall that Bravo wasn't getting a cut from, I don't even know if that's legal. Like, I don't even know if like you could do that within the Bravo contract. Because you know what, maybe Bravo is getting a cut, because I absolutely believe that Bravo is getting some part of Reasonably Shady. So maybe they are, but I'm saying even if they are getting a cut, if they did not know about this could be bad for the both of them. And if they had to choose, I think if anything, they will cut Robyn and maybe drop Giselle down to friend of the show just to teach her a lesson. They did it with Kenya. They did it with Kenya. Like, everybody was just like, Kenya cannot be touched. Kenya is the show. Kenya married that man off the show. Bravo said, well, you'll sit out this season, and did not ask her back. Kenya was able to come back to Bravo because she had a meeting at NBC about Bravo, okay? She went to Bravo's daddy and said, I want to get back on this show. So how do I do that? And they let her know what you need to do. So she brought angry, resentful, hating Mark on that show, and that was the season she got. So I don't know. If anything, this lady is trying really, really hard. If Karen or Candace takes the bait, we may see her on this show. It depends. I don't know if Candace will do it. It depends. It depends on the reunion, but she's trying her best. She's trying her best. And even Robyn said, here's the attention that you wanted. You got me talking about you. So we may see her on the show. What do you guys think? Ciao. Josie said, well, like you said, she just talked herself out of a job. I think so. I think so too. Yasmin said, and yes, Karen is a problem too. It's all four of them. They all do this. Karen, absolutely. But I think that Karen Ben had this tea, right? And she was holding on to it for a very, very long time. And I don't think that this lady, oh my God, I'm so sorry if you can hear these text messages. I don't know how to get them to shut up. But I don't know if this lady is the first one, because Karen's been talking about this woman for a very long time. And this lady reached out to Juan during the pandemic. But Karen has been saying that Juan has been cheating for a very long time. So I don't know. I think that he might have probably got caught up because this was probably one of his first, like, fan working girl kind of relationships, and everything else was probably like the real deal, like probably women who just really wanted to be with him and nothing to do with the show. So we'll see. We will see. And I'm telling you, if he's that angry, production on the Real Housewives of Potomac is heated, because a story is breaking about a cast member, and it's breaking on that cast member's platform, not the platform that pays you to run their show. Them producers is getting cussed out. I'm telling you that right now. Them Bravo execs is laying into the Real Housewives of Potomac EPs. I'm telling you that right now. So they pissed. This may just, to teach Robyn a lesson. This may be our last time seeing her for a season or two. This was not smart. Do they not have agents? Do they not have managers? This was just not a smart thing to do. I wouldn't have done this. I would not have done this. I probably would have dropped it at the reunion. I would have never done this on my own platform. Now listen, maybe Bravo didn't release this. Maybe Robyn talked about it at the reunion, so she's safe. If Robyn dropped this tea at the reunion, then she's good. Her and Giselle are good, I think, because Bravo was able to get the exclusive on that. But then still, if you dropped it at the reunion, hypothetically, right? Let's say she dropped this tea at the reunion. You still broke it on your own platform. I don't know how they're going to feel about that. I don't know. I do not know. This was not smart. This was not smart. Let's talk about Candace and her response to this. Candace says, oh, let me take this comment off so I can see the whole thing. Candace says, why be open or genuine or authentic when the least of us can rob our viewers of the truth and continually be rewarded for it? What are we doing? And a better question, what are y'all watching? And while we reserve the right to be judicious about what we share, there is a special brand of audacity attached to individuals who will knowingly bury the lead in exchange for damning and salacious lies that stand to cause irreparable harm to innocent people. It tarnishes the integrity of the premise of our show. It tap dances on the intelligence of the viewership that champion our stories and discover their own parallels in our lives. And when it's not that deep, it simply occludes amusement. It's not entertaining. It's not interesting. It's whack. Why be open or genuine or authentic when the least of us can? Oh, I'm sorry. I cut off the last part. But this was the first part of it. She says, a thread. Our boss's favorite clapback is when we're playing coy about certain aspects of our lives is you're on a reality show about your life. There's an expectation that doing no harm, there's an expectation that doing no harm, we show up to this platform as our authentic selves. So that was absolutely a dig at Andy. You know what, Candace? You and Andy do not like each other, right? And I'm not saying you need this platform. You don't. You'll be fine, right? But I feel like if you're going to stay on this show, maybe not come for your boss like the way you do. I just feel like whenever she gets a moment, she will cuss that man out. Nene did that, right? If you don't want this, if you don't need this platform, I get it. But at some point, you're going to stop cussing out your boss because I can't defend this. I'm trying, mama, but you cussed him out right here. This was a read. And this was also a poke for him to do something, right? And I don't feel like Andy likes his hand being forced if it ain't from the viewers. I don't know, but I just feel like, maybe you need to stop cussing him out so much. Anyway, I also think that it's very convenient, and it explains a lot of why ROBYN and Giselle was going on with this storyline that Eddie was cheating and that Eddie had a baby and all of this stuff. Because they did not want anybody to talk about. That's why ROBYN, because remember, guys, we were like, why is ROBYN so upset? Like, why is she so involved in this situation with Wendy? Like Giselle said it, you don't have to like take this bone and run with it. I think it's because of this situation, because this woman has been trying for a very long time to get this story told or come on the Real Housewives of Potomac. So I think that's why her, like Giselle and ROBYN were, doing what they needed to do to make sure that everybody is so engulfed about what's happening with Wendy that nobody's talking about what's happening with ROBYN. And even Carlos says that allegedly, certain cast members met and talked about, this season, what the storyline was going to be. And the storyline was going to be Candace and Chris trying to, sleep with everybody and make the women on the cast uncomfortable because they did not want anybody to talk about what was going on with ROBYN and Juan. And I think the people who met, and the only reason why I say this is because Karen mentioned this in the I think the second or third episode of this season. She posted a picture, I believe, of Ashley, a scene where Ashley, ROBYN, and Giselle are in the scene. And she said it's very obvious who got together before the season started and planned out this attack on Chris. So this is really something that Ashley and Giselle and ROBYN put together. And it's fallen apart. This is really sad how what they are trying to do has fallen apart so badly. I've never seen anything like this before. Like, we've seen people attempt to try to do something and it just not go well. This has gone so badly for, you know, the Green Eyed Bandits and Ashley. This is bad. This is really, really bad, because now that everybody knows that you guys are just making up stuff and you guys are like distracting, now everybody is like, well, why did you choose the people that you chose, right? Because if it's not colorism, it kind of looks that way, because you chose two dark-skinned Black women on the show to essentially have their marriages falling apart be your storyline when your fiance was cheating on you. Right? Like, why did you choose them of all people? Like, if it's not that, it's what one can easily conclude that it is that because of this. You went for Wendy last season saying that Eddie was cheating on her and had another, and there was a baby coming, right? You went throughout that whole season. Robyn just hated that woman. And now here we go with Candace. Now you're saying that Chris made you feel uncomfortable and that he's trying to sleep with everybody in the cast and he's not faithful to her. Why you choose them two? And not defending Robyn, but I will say I can understand where her aggression has now been birthed from for the last two seasons, last season and this season, because I just did not understand why she was so angry at Wendy. Still, I'm like, I don't know what Wendy has done to you, but I realize that it's just misplaced anger because of everything that's going on in her life. Because at the end of the day, she loves this man, and it appears as if the love is not equal, but she's not going to go anywhere. And I don't think that she is certain that he won't, which is why now I understand why she's protecting herself the way she is financially. Because if he decides to get up and leave, at least she can, you know, protect her own assets. So it makes sense to have a cheating clause. It makes sense to have a prenup. Listen, I still think that Juan shouldn't have signed nothing, but I now understand why she asked for the things that she asked for. And I now understand why it took this long for them to get married. This is sad. This is sad. This is really, really sad. Joy said, you would think since Robyn comes from a PR background, she wouldn't do a dumb cash grab like this and reveal it on the show with the full weight of the network that is Bravo. Yeah. I wouldn't risk a really big check for a reasonably shady check. I wouldn't. You know what I mean? I wouldn't now, and I ain't got no kids, right? If I am someone who has two people to take care, two mouths to feed, two, you know, people to rear up, for the rest of their lives, basically, especially the way this economy is going, I wouldn't risk it. But I don't think she knew that she was risking this check. I don't know how to say this, but thank you, X. X said, I think she did it this way on purpose to become a friend of. That way, oh! That way she doesn't have to address this or Juan's dealings at work. I don't know. I think that's a smart assumption, but I don't think she thought that far ahead. Because this is not friend of demotion, right? This is like, we're not going to see you. We're not going to see you. I think she got herself fired. I think she got herself fired. Thank you, She Got Two Kids D. Thank you for the super chat. She Got Two Kids D said, Nikki, what you're forgetting is Robyn doesn't have to worry. Them hats got them haters or okay. You know, I will say that people are saying that they're buying the hats. If you go to her Instagram, people are commenting that they really like the hats. So who knows? Who knows? She sure did. And she got her boss together. Candace! Oh my goodness. I'm like, you got to stop cussing your boss out at some point. At some point. Natasha said the audience is tired of them being allowed to completely fake and continue to hold high places on the cast. This is the thing, right? I agree with you, Natasha. I feel like if they would have not been so awful, I don't think this would have been a big story for the audience, right? If they would have not tried to ruin Wendy's marriage and now Candace's marriage, I think it would have been fine. Like if they had a season where they just didn't talk about anything, but they were just stirring a pot and just, you know, showing up and saying funny one-liners, I don't think they will be getting as much backlash as they're getting. But when you like concoct a storyline that you're going to try to destroy somebody's marriage to cover that your marriage is falling apart or your relationship is in shambles, it's just not a good look. Dolce Delicious, I don't know if I got this, but I do want to highlight this. Thank you so much for the super chat. I think she might be. I think she might be fired for this. And the reason, like, I thought that initially, and then I saw Carlos's response, and I was like, yeah, I think they're in trouble. I think they're in trouble. Asatu, I think she absolutely should. I think she absolutely should. But I'm just saying, like, do you want the job or not? That's all I'm saying. I feel like if you want the job, leave that man alone. Just go collect your check and go. But Candace is not missing an opportunity to call that man out. I'm not saying that she's wrong. I'm just like, do you want to stay on the show? Stop cussing your boss out. Like, Dahlia said, Andy stayed with his foot on Candace's neck. I feel some type of way too if I gave you what you wanted, but I'm getting censored for my troubles and being treated unfairly. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Candace and Wendy are held to a higher standard, but we know why. Megan said, I feel like Candace has always said she doesn't want to stay on the show for long. So that's why I feel like she talks that way about Andy. True. And I think Candace knows at this point that Bravo's not going to touch her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Andy started Bravo, but he also has a board. He also sold a lot of his shares in the company, so he don't really have a voice. He could be the face of Bravo, right? But I won't say he doesn't have a voice. He does have a voice. He's absolutely the face of Bravo, but he can't make them decisions without 30 other people making that with him as well. And that's just how any successful company goes. Megan said, I feel like Candace has always said she does. Oh, I got this one. Hey, Momi. Momi is responding to Dulé. Simply Simone says, started the season with the fake Chris rumor, only for us to find out that about Rhob's before the season was even over. And also, we have to talk about what they started off with, right? I think it would have been better for them to start off with Baby Bop acting like Chris wanted her than to start off with, he made me feel uncomfortable. That's when everybody was like, wait a minute, what? Because everybody's like, if he did that, let's handle it. Let's handle it. But the thing about it is, Giselle's story didn't land because Robyn was like, huh? That's what happened. Robyn was like, girl, wait a minute. What are you talking about? And that's when the viewers were like, wait a minute. Are you making this up? And then Giselle's story kept on changing. And now who knows what her story is going to be at the reunion? Like, who knows? Who knows? And you know what? I just thought about this. I think these ladies are also in trouble because two things. One, I think the ladies are in trouble because they are now sending people who would watch the show to their podcasts. Even if it's not a lot, one is too much for the network, right? The second thing, I think that this podcast, this Patreon, this breaking this story on Patreon, on a separate platform outside of Bravo, is going to make it extremely hard for people like Dr. Heavenly, Karen, Giselle and Robyn, and anybody who is currently working for Bravo, who is doing any kind of reviewing, Candy. I think they have now made it hard for them, because now what's probably going to happen is that Bravo, if they weren't strict before, they're going to get hella strict with their employees now, their entertainment employees now, with what they do outside of the show. So what's probably going to happen is like Candy's, show where she responds, where she basically just gives a review on what happened. I think that now everything that they do, everything that Dr. Heavenly does, everything that Candy does, every podcast or whatever, every, talk back that Karen does after the show is now going to have to go through Bravo. So I think they just made it difficult for everybody else, which is the same thing that happened for Bethany. When Bravo saw how much money Bethany made outside of them while promoting Skinny Girl Cosmetics, or Skinny Girl, is it Skinny Girl Cosmetics? Skinny Girl, whatever it was, tequila or whatever. When they saw that, now everybody after her has to give Bravo a cut. Bethany is the only one to this day that does not have to give Bravo a cut of any Skinny Girl stuff, because that wasn't implemented until she did something. And now Robyn and Giselle have done something. And now they're going to make it extremely harder for their coworkers to make a coin outside of Bravo. Yikes. Yikes. Because I just don't see Bravo being like, this is okay. Now it's like everything that you do, every podcast interview, every review, we need to see it first. And this is the date that you can post it. People are going to lose money off of this. People are going to lose money off of that, off of this. Hey, Dwayne. Dwayne said Robyn defended Chris against Giselle, but not against Ashley's friend. That was weird. And I think the only reason why she did that is because she was upset with Candace because Candace was defending Wendy. And that's Robyn's character, right? At least Robyn's character on the show. Because Robyn, in her confessional, when the production asked her, why is it okay for Mia to do something and not Wendy? And Robyn was like, because I don't like her. Like, it's probably wrong. Like, Mia is absolutely wrong, but I don't like Wendy, so I'm gonna agree with Mia. And that's probably, if that's how Robyn is thinking, from that example, then it makes sense for her to not defend Candace in this matter when Candace is defending somebody that she doesn't like, even if what she's doing is right. If she don't like you, she's going to side with anybody that's going against you. At her big age. Ciao. Hey, Asatu, thank you so much for the super chat. Asatu said Ric Flair has been aggressive since season 1. But she was aggressive, but Robyn would get aggressive when people would come for her, right? She was aggressive that whole season. Remember, if you go back and look at my reviews, I was like, what the hell did Wendy do? I don't get it. Like, why are you so mad at her? Even this season, I'm like, why are you still angry at her? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm Awake said, I watch a show with Robyn dating men or women. Okay. And finding new love. She's not good on this show, though. I feel bad. I feel bad because I'm just like, you're a mother. You're going to need this. This was such an easy check. I don't know why these women just fumble this check. This is why I think that people or entertainers who come to Bravo, to come to these reality TV shows, do so well on the show because they know how to give you a performance. I feel like the real ladies, and I get that's what made these, reality TV shows what they were, just real authentic people. But now this beast has grown to something else. And I feel like the performers who come to this platform are able to stay on because they know what to do. When they lose sight of it, they just go bonkers. Shout out to Lisa Rinna. But when they're good, they're good. They know how to give you a performance. Robyn, why did you do this? Deborah said, I disagree about Candace being in trouble with Andy. If anything, she needs a job. If anything, she needs a job with the executives. Yeah, I didn't say that she was in trouble. I don't think she is. Like, Andy alone can't touch her, right? But I'm just like, don't give him any receipts to take back to the board. You know what I mean? Because he can run back and be like, Candace is bullying me again. Look at what she wrote. JP Reddy said, Robyn is lazy. She doesn't want to have to go find better. I think that could be something that could be said about her, but I honestly think that she loves him. And I think that this happens with a lot of women, especially women who get with somebody very young, especially women who get with somebody very young in church. You settle. You settle because you've put so much time. And this is just women in general. We all do this, right? You put so much time into this man or in this relationship, and you're just like, yeah, no, I put too much in. I gave this man 10 years of my life. I'm not gonna let this go for this one incident. You need to let it go. Okay, 10 years, 10 beautiful years, 10 struggle years, whatever they were. Don't worry about the time. Go be happy. Go be happy. Because in this podcast interview or talkback or whatever, she's saying that, yeah, I'm not going to break up my family. Break up your family. Break up your family. Those kids will be better growing up in a broken home than in a miserable home. Them boys will do so much better knowing that their mom is happy, visiting you in your nice little Bravo paid for condo and going to visit their dad, in a Section 8 apartment in Virginia. They would be happy because their parents are happy. Juan is not happy. He hasn't been happy for a very long time. He's not. And your kids see that. It is better for them to see their parents who are happy, living their lives separate, but are able to successfully co-parent. It's better for them to see you in something healthy. This isn't healthy. Neither one of y'all are happy. Neither one of y'all are happy. Which is why when your fiance, now husband, when you called him to tell him about Karen and this other woman, he immediately cussed you out. It wasn't even a nice greeting. Like it wasn't, I don't know, the way he greeted her, what's up, Robyn? Like, that's how the love of your life greets you. That's how your man talked to you. Now, if they were from New York, I would get it. But what's up, Robyn? What's good? Okay. Hi, honey. They're saying that, you're cheating. Robyn, I don't feel like it. I'm done with this. Get me off this phone. I don't do nothing. I don't go no. That's not healthy. Go be happy. Go be happy. Absolutely. Absolutely. The cheating explained the depression. Think about it. You're going through a whole pandemic. You're depressed from that just off grip. Everybody was depressed. Then you find out that somebody you've loved since you was a child is cheating on you. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. Oh, this is so sad. I'm going to get a couple more and then we'll move into the review because I got to get to Miami because that was good. Yakriti said this season with Robyn putting off weddings and doing the prenup would have hit different had she been forthcoming with this tea. We would all understand and champion her. Yep. Even when she was going after Wendy, if she would have been like, you know what, Wendy, I'm sorry, my life is falling apart. Everybody would have forgot how she treated Wendy. No shade, right? My life is falling apart. And just tell us that she would have such a completely different edit. But I'm sorry, I have to put this on them being light. Because you know why? Shout out to light-skinned, multiracial ones who, look on the side of European. I think because of the privilege that you have within this community, I'm not talking about outside our community, I'm talking about within the Black community. I just don't think you use all of your brain, right? Let's talk about Baby Bop, also known as Deborah, also known as Cookie Monster. The fact that she thought that she could come on this show and we would believe her that Chris was all over her and that his head turned when he saw her walk in the room because he was married to Candace. Like, let's be real. She thought that because the Black community makes people who have a European hair texture or anything similar. If you look like you are mixed with anything not Black, oh, the Black community salivates. We love an oppression princess, right? And I think because of that, because you just have that kind of privilege and you just can't see, unlike me, who I have no privilege, so nobody has to put on any kind of performance for me. I see people for who they really are. You don't really see the world the way it is. which is why you can't talk to me about colorism, which is why you can't talk to me about racism. I see it. Like nobody puts on a performance for dark-skinned people, especially dark-skinned Black women. Nobody puts on a performance for us because what privilege do we have? So we're just able to see, and we're able to see the world raw, right? I think when you don't see the world raw, something don't click. It's like common sense, discernment, wisdom is just gone because you just don't have those struggles, right? You don't have to work as hard just to be seen. So you just had this reality that is not really real. So when everything falls down, you're shocked. And let's be real. The dark people are like, well, yeah, we knew that wouldn't work. Why you thought it would work? It just doesn't make sense to me. And I have to blame it on the likeness. I have to, guys, because why did this woman make any of the decisions that she made, right? Like, why did she make these decisions? Because she thought that she could get away with them because that has probably always been her experience. This isn't the first time that she's tried to destroy a dark-skinned woman's life, right? This isn't the first time. You know, she learned this in middle school, that she could lie on a dark-skinned girl and everybody will believe her. She learned that from very young. So this made sense as an adult to do that, to say, oh, of course, Chris wants me over Candace. Of course, Eddie is cheating on Wendy. Of course, Chris is looking at me and wants something to do. He can't possibly be happy with this dark woman with all that mouth. That her experiences made her think that, because we're all like, this is stupid. This is so dumb. This is not smart. Why did you do that? The lack of melanin. I feel like if you have the less melanin, let me stop. Let me get out of there. Hey, True Speaker. True Speaker said maybe RHOBYN knows she is leaving the show and that's why she is trying to build her brand outside of Bravo. If she thinks that, I'm telling you right now, the reasonably shady numbers will never top Bravo numbers. I'm telling you that right now. Ain't nothing you can say on that show that will produce a Bravo check. And I am not being negative. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. It's just fix it. Yakriti said this season with RHOBYN putting off the wedding and doing the prenup would have hit different. Oh, I got that one. Oh, let me get some super chats. I'm sorry, I've been talking. Hey, Fro on a Mission. Fro on a Mission said, haven't been able to make a live in weeks because of work, but still a loyal viewer. Love your channel and energy. Cha-ching. Thank you so much, Fro on a Mission. Hey, Alon said, I blame the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They set this standard of having these weak storylines for years and collecting bigger and bigger Bravo checks. True, Alon. Thank you for the super chat. Cha-ching, but they're white. They're white. Now they got privilege over the light skins. Cordelia said, late to the live, but did y'all see that RHOBYN said in The Reason Be Shady that Juan had an affair and put a damper? Yeah. So Karen was right. Yeah, Karen been right. But this ain't been the first. This is not the first one. This is the first one that tried to get on the show. Dahlia said, oh, great point, Nikki. WWE did the same thing with Twitch and OnlyFans. Some wrestlers got fined and fired because they refused to give up their accounts. It affects the company's reputation. Yes, you cannot. I know there's a clause somewhere in their contract where they're just like, you cannot take viewership from this. You can build off of that and send them here, but we gave you this platform. You're not going to use us to make money for yourself. We make money off of you. You don't make money off of us. Like Bravo is always going to get the bigger cut. That's just how those contracts work. She got two kids. Z said, crazy thing is RHOBYN would be so much better and more likable and more open, single and separate from Giselle. She would. She's such a little follower. I think we're going to find out how strong that friendship is. Because I'm telling you right now, her and Giselle is getting cussed out. We're going to see a different Giselle. We're going to see a different Giselle. Poor RHOBYN. Poor Robyn. George said, I'm side-eyeing the producers. Candace called them out, and he was very nonchalant. I wouldn't be surprised if he low-key knew. Karen ain't say nothing to her producers. Now, that's the thing. I don't think the Real Housewives of Potomac producers knew anything, because one thing we have found out, especially this season, they have no favorites. They have receipts, and they will run back a flashback for anybody on this show. They said these receipts are rated E for everybody. Anybody can get it. And that's why that show does well, because they don't have favorites. That's why Beverly Hills does so poorly, because they had a favorite in Kyle. Something shifted over there. Kyle gonna have to put in some work. Maureen, what's up? Maureen said, I feel like Robyn is going to be back next season with a contract based on her performance. True. She's going to be cussed out by Juan, the cast. She's going to have an awful edit, and then she's going to get the reboot. Get the boot. Listen, this you're probably right. You're probably right. And then she's going to have a difficult husband, because now Juan is her husband, right? So now he has to film. He's your whole husband. There's no way you cannot film with your family, right? That's why Sutton got demoted, because she could not get her kids. Her husband would not sign the contract to allow her kids to be filmed. And Bravo was just like, we have to film your whole family. Now that her kids are over the age of 18 at this point, now that they can, choose to film or not. But she got dropped down to friend of the show because she could not film with her children. Everybody in your life has to film on the show if they are a part of it. So now that Juan is not just your boyfriend, he's not just your roommate, he's no longer your fiance, he's your whole husband. He has to film on the show, and you won't sit there and say, "Oh, they can try to film with him." He's going to cuss them out, girl. What are you do? Do you not want to be on the show? I don't know. This is weird. Why not going to want to film? He going to cuss them out if they try to ask him to film. That's not good. Like, that's not good for you. Like, you need that melanin right here. If it's not anywhere else, put the melanin on the brain. You're not thinking. So Steph, thank you for the super chat. Cha-ching. So Steph said Robyn is codependent and needs to grow up. Very true. But I do feel bad. She loved that boy since he was a boy. Her whole family loved that boy since he was a boy. Like, I get it. I mean, I ain't never loved no dude that long. One day, but yikes. To just be with somebody from the time. I mean, I could get being with somebody. No, I can't. But there are people who have been with people for a very long time, and they have just been happy. When has it ever been happy for them? It seems like it's always been a struggle. Y'all been fighting for this relationship since y'all was 16? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Dayla said, it is true that Robyn said about her going around trying to shop the info. Robyn has shown that she is a liar, so I can't fully believe her. True. Like, to be honest with you, this whole story, I didn't give any weight to it until Robyn confirmed that the girl that was on GEORGIO Says is the girl that has been trying to get on the show. Now I'm like, okay, the truth is somewhere in there. We'll find out next season. Because whoever is angry enough to bring that woman on the show, yikes. Let me get two more. Let me get my super chats. And then let me get into the review. Sorry if you came here for any other ones. I'm going to try to do as much as I can. I might get out of here at 3 because we've been talking for a while. Irene said, what Robyn did was very annoying. Took time to watch the entire season. And for her to do that, it's just not cool at all. It's not smart. It's not cool and it's not smart. I will say this, right? And I've always said this. Cha-ching, Irene. Thank you so much for the super chat. I've always said this. Lie to me. You can lie to me. Just make it interesting. You don't have to come on this show and be like, hey guys, my life is falling apart right now. The man that I have loved since I was a child is cheating on me with the woman that's trying to get on a TV show, or trying to get on the platform that I'm on. I can't really function. I'm not okay right now. I'm probably going to be having a nervous breakdown in every scene. So I'm going to show up, not my full self, but this is what you're going to get. No shade. Keep that. I don't want that, right? This is Trainwreck TV. This is train wreck TV. I want to come here and just have a good old time, right? I want to come here and laugh. I want to come here and be like, oh my God, they are so ridiculous. I want a Bethany Frankel mention it all moment, right? I want a Lisa Rinna, breaking a glass on a table. I want a Kim Richards. Let's talk about the husband. Y'all, you can give me all of that. Knowing that you are going through depression and you're losing your hair because this man is cheating on you and you can't get your life together. You can hold on to that. You can hold on to that. You don't got to share that. You owe nobody nothing. Even if you're on this TV show, you don't have to tell us your deepest, darkest secrets and that you're a struggle. We are not owed that. That's what I believe. We are not, as viewers, we are not owed your blood, sweat, and tears. You can give us a beautifully crafted, hysterical performance, and I will be okay. I will be okay. Let me see, because I'm like, can I say this? I'm not getting in trouble. Let's just be vague. There is somebody who works in reality TV whose whole life on reality TV is a lie, but they're good at what they do. They are good at what they do. It's all a lie, but they're good at what they do. They are committed to their performance. The people in on it with them are committed to their performance. And we tune in every time because it's a good little improv, slightly scripted performance. And that's okay. Just make it entertaining. You don't have to tell us everything. You can listen, get yourself when you're at a point where you feel a little bit better, and then you can talk about it. And if you feel like you want to do that, do that. But the audience is not owed your soul. Absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, this is you playing you. I always, as an actor, I always feel like if you are getting on a reality TV show, you better get something out of it. And you also better show up with a character. You do not have to be yourself. Just be entertaining. That's all you have to be. It does not have to be real. Just be entertaining. Because at the end of the day, you sharing your soul, you're putting that out there, right? And you have no idea how people are going to digest it. You have an idea of how you want people to receive it. But after you put it out there, it's no longer yours. It's everybody else, and everybody has their opinion, and it's all filtered through whether they like you or not. If they don't rock with you, they're going to rejoice. If they do, they're going to feel bad. But at the end of the day, the platform that you put it on is going to make millions off of it. Be smart. Get something out of it. But I don't feel like you have to tell all that. If you didn't want to tell all that, fine. But then why spend the whole season putting out this rumor that Wendy's husband is cheating on her and has an outside baby? Why be awful? That's where you lose me, because that was so unnecessary, especially when your life is falling apart. You could have lied and said, what would have been a good little lie for her, a good little performance? You know what? You could have had a midlife crisis. It's relatable. It's a relatable topic. It is a relatable topic. You could have showed up with your hair shaved, dyed, pink or red, or maybe an orange or a green, and just in a ridiculous outfit. You could have showed up to your first confessional dressed like Hollywood Montrose. And you could be like, you know what? I've realized my whole life I've been somebody's wife and I've been somebody's mother. I have no idea who I am, and I'm going to explore that. When I leave this confessional, I'm going to jump out of an airplane. And you could have made a whole season of you just discovering yourself and finding what you like and what you don't like. You could have took the ladies on a trip to Barcelona to learn flamenco dancing. Is that in Spain? Something. You could have done all of that, and it would have been interesting, and it would have been relatable, because there are so many women who go through that. You could have done that. Why destroy your castmate's marriage? Like, why was that the first thing you thought of? That's where you lose the sympathy for a lot of people, because it's just like, you had a choice, and your choice was to destroy somebody else's life. You had a choice. You had a choice. I got another super chat. Let me get this super chat. Hey, Obi. Obi said, 1, love when Nikki.Star goes on her melanin rant. I'm joking. I love y'all. I hope you know. 2, notice the anger for Mia's violence, low-key fading and shifting to Robyn's issues. Very true. Very, very true. Very, very true. I'm not good. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, Sarah said, I know this isn't who you were talking about, but David and Ekin Sue is Def One. I don't know who they are. Oh, they are milking the Love Island fame and got another show out of it. That's what these people do. I'm telling you, if I would ever go on any version of Love Island, I would absolutely go on there with somebody that I already know, act like we don't know each other, and form a whole love story that America will fall in love with. And then after I got my little, who would I want? My ASOS deal. After I got my little ASOS deal, making them, them poorly crafted garments. Shout out to Jordan Woods, child. After I got that little deal, I would go on my YouTube or my TIK TOK, and I would, put the tears in my eyes, and I'd be like, me and Bartunde, we have decided to go our separate ways. Thank you all for getting me to 2.6 million followers and also being on this journey of love with me. I will love again. I can't. Get your freaking money. Just make it entertaining. I will absolutely like your TikTok, knowing good and well that you are scamming, but at least you put in the work. At least you put in the work. You can lie. You can always lie on these shows. Like, I don't know why anybody goes on reality TV with their real life. Speaking of real life, and I got to move on. Whoever told me to watch MILF Manor, count your days. Count your days. That show is sick. And there is not one episode that has come out where I have not been uncomfortable. But there is a point, there's a point in the show where they have to you have to reveal the secret. So basically there's moms, older women on the show trying to find love, but their sons have also come on the show to find love. And they're all they're all pulling from the same pool to find love. Real sick. Anyway, so there's this one episode where the moms and the kids the moms and the sons have to tell a deep, dark secret. There's one mom on there, her deep, dark secret. Why the hell she get this to the producers? I will never understand. Her deep, dark secret is she slept with her son's best friend. Why the hell would you tell that to a producer of a TV show? What? You could have lied. Your son wouldn't have known the difference. So she tells the secret, and her son immediately falls out. He has a whole he's stunned, he's embarrassed, he starts acting out. She starts falling apart. She's like, I didn't know that my son would be so hurt by that. What the hell? Why didn't you think? She could have lied. She could have lied. She could have said that she was, she went to an orgy at the Playboy Mansion with Hugh Hefner. Nobody would have known because Hugh Hefner is freaking dead. So we're not digging him up to get the receipts. She could have lied, but she told the truth. And now her relationship with her son is fractured forever. Lie on reality TV. Lie. There's a reason why the producers are not in front of the camera. They're not messing up their lives. You can always lie. You can always lie. What time is it? I think what I'm going to do is just make this up a tone. You know what? No. Y'all got time? Y'all got time to stick around? Let's briefly talk about this Potomac episode, and then we will move on. Me and Wendy allegedly bumped coochies. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Here's why I don't believe it. Wendy has never been in that discussion. Wendy has never been in that discussion and also the story just keeps on escalating. It started from, oh, they kiss. Then they fondled each other's nipples. Then they showed each other their vaginas. Then you get to each other's vaginas. Then you get to Mia. Oh, she put her finger in my vagina and she started to explore it. The story just keeps on changing. I'm over it. I don't believe it. I want to hear from Wendy. Now, if Wendy confirms it, okay, it is what it is. But I just do not believe it, especially if it's coming from Mia. Robyn's Bachelorette. I do not understand, even with the information presented, why Robyn still has this hard-on for Wendy. So Wendy cannot come. I understand Karen not coming to her Bachelorette, right? But Wendy can't come to your Bachelorette party because she laughed at Karen getting you together. Remember when you filmed her when she was being assaulted by a cast member? Remember when Mia almost split her head open with a purse and you were filming it and laughing? She still hung out around you. So because Wendy went, all of a sudden you're mad at her. Like you do not know that you are filming a TV show and Wendy knows what works. Like, let's be real here. There is a reason why every time any of the women are getting into some kind of argument that does not involve Wendy, that Wendy has a reaction shot. Why does she have a reaction shot? Because she's good. She does great reactions. The producers learned that on her first season, right? So whenever any of the other women are getting into it, the producers will always cut to Wendy reacting. It is a TV show. The viewers like it. It is good. It is a good reaction. It is something that always trends. We always talk about Wendy's reactions when anything is happening in this group. That is the TV show. So Wendy knows what she's doing. Even if she, normally probably wouldn't react it like that with Karen saying anything or whatever. If she did or she didn't, right? At the end of the day, she knows she's being filmed. She knows what is required of her. I guarantee your producer talked to her and said, oh, this is going down. So, just make sure you're at this camera. They absolutely set her where they set her because a camera was just specifically assigned to her for her reactions to what is happening at the table. There is always a Wendy reaction to an argument, and Wendy did her job and reacted. She got a freaking camera in her face for that reaction. What was she supposed to do? Not react because she wanted to come to your Bachelorette party? Your dry, boring, destitute Bachelorette party? I was just like, she ain't missed nothing. She didn't miss anything, but because she laughed, she could not come. I do not get it, Robyn. I don't get it. Did the woman look like Wendy? Did Juan say that he was attracted to Wendy? Like, what is it? Even with the information presented, it still does not make sense. I don't get it. Anyway, let's move on. I love how Chris is just sick of the women. But he won't stop filming because he knows what's good for his wife and for the family, right? Chris will never stop filming. But now that he's filming, he's going to let you know he's annoyed. Because when Candace is talking to him about the Mexico trip, he was just like, so did you guys do anything besides talk poorly about each other's husbands? Chris is going to show up. He's going to let you film him, but he is going to be miserable the whole time. And he's going to let you know how he feels about these women. Chris played nice. He was such a sweet guy to the women that were sweet to him. Now that he knows that they put this whole storyline together and tried to make this man the Michael Darby 2.0 of Potomac, he's like, oh, I don't rock with none of them. So every time we get Chris on camera, he cussing out one of them women, and I'm okay with it, as he should. As he should. That's my fridge. Sorry. I don't know who said this, but whoever called Charisse Eeyore, I cannot unsee it. Every time she's in the scene at this bachelorette party, I was like, girl, why are you here, right? I feel like, especially for a bachelorette party, you invite the fun women of the group. Charisse was just no fun. Like, even in her confessional, I was supposed to put this together, but They didn't want me to do it. So I came though. Why are you here? Like, it's just, she's just not interesting. I'm so sorry. I know you guys loved her from the earlier seasons. I do not remember her. There's no shade to that. I just feel like with this cast, I feel like the women now are a bit more dynamic than what Charisse is delivering. I don't understand. And let me tell you something. I do not care that Karen was jacking up her knees, sucking for dear life at a glory hole in a public restroom. I do not care that she was out, in the Potomac streets cheating with Hitler's wet dream. I do not care. Why? Y'all had seasons to produce receipts of Blue Eyes, Karen's infidelities, and we still have not had it. Y'all have talked about it. Y'all have made it storylines. Y'all still don't have nothing. I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm saying at this point, I no longer care. You've had 7 seasons to prove or debunk this mess, and y'all have given us nothing. We're tired. Y'all got to move on with something else with Karen. And at the end of the day, I feel like, and I talked about this, like, I think a season ago, her man is old. Things are probably no longer working the way they used to, right? This happens. We all know this happens with older, May, December relationships. Don't they, do they call it cuckold? I don't know. Y'all know when it's like when a man, I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I can believe that, because even Karen was just like, he lets me have eye candy. The Black Bill Gates, you okay with me having eye candy? I know that's right, honey. So I can believe that he's like, listen, I'm no longer functioning and I don't want to take anything to function. I'm old. Let me just be. Go bang the driver. I love you. You love me. I just can't give you what I used to give you. I can't give you something that you can feel anymore. So you go and get it. And I think that's probably what's happening here, which is why Karen always responds the way she does. I don't care. Because I think there's probably some truth to that, but I don't care anymore. I don't care. It's been 7 seasons. We're done. We're done. If you are not bringing on Mr. Blue Eyes, if Frank Sinatra Jr. don't walk through that door in season 8, leave it alone. Y'all had far too much time to prove this. Far too much time to prove this. Let it go. I'm tired. I am tired. Let me, hold on. I got a super chat. I got a super chat from Sebastian. Hi, Sebastian B. Said, watching Bindergate through Wendy's reactions is gold. LOL, mama was shook. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the super chat, Sebastian. Now, if Monique was on this show and they was dragging her marriage, oh, she would bring on Juan's woman. Juan's COVID cutie. Oh, she would bring her on. Oh, Monique. Reality tea isn't for everybody. I should have got a picture of it, but I didn't. Potomac is just not known for fashions. They just will never deliver that, and I'm okay with it. My thing is, why was Robyn dressed like the Fifth Element stewardess? Remember those stewardess outfits in the Fifth Element? Why would you wear that to your bachelorette party? Like, I know this cast will never serve fashions, but why was that a choice for a millennial woman? God. Anyway, a lot of people were getting on Candace for the way she was responding to Charisse, like dropping this tea about, Karen and glory holes, right? I thought that Candace was just having a good time, right? When Candace was just like, because, Charisse was like, Karen was going off, every time we sat down to get something to eat, she would go off and have a good time at a glory hole. And Candace was like, I hate when my friends do that. I hate when when me and my girlfriends go hang out and one of them goes off to the bathroom and starts sucking off everybody that walks in. Everybody was like, Candace, why would you talk about Karen like that? I'm like, I feel like she's just having a good time and just, just joking and making fun of a really ridiculous situation. But I don't think that Candace and Karen are beefing. If anything, since Ashley, Giselle, and Robyn met up and prepared storylines to go against the women of this season, Karen, Wendy, and not Mia, Candace, y'all need to start meeting too. I just don't know why. And I go through the same thing on Beverly Hills. I don't know why the women that the cliques go after don't click up and go after them. I don't understand why it's so hard for y'all to work together when y'all all being oppressed by the same group. Like, it just makes no sense. They're coming after you guys collectively. Yes, Crystal, I'm talking to you. You better pick a freaking side this season. You better pick a freaking side, because the sides you always try to rock with don't like you. It's time for you to link up with Garcelle and Sutton and just be done with it. Oh, she get on my nerves. Anyway, I just don't understand. And I feel like Candace, Karen, and Wendy, y'all need to start meeting too. If they meeting on you, y'all need to meet on them and at least, come in with guns blazing as well, since they are using your lives as storylines because their lives are falling apart. I know that the great Michelle Obama said, when they go low, you go higher or whatever. This is reality TV. When they go low, you go to hell and you stay there until you both are consumed with fire and envy. I'm joking. But you know what I mean? Like, this is reality TV. This is reality TV. You got to go low as well. Don't go too low where you lose the audience. Don't go too low where we're like, oh my God, you've gone too far. You know what I mean? But come on, match their energy. That's all I'm asking for. That's it. Mia is still beefing with Jacqueline. Jacqueline, I don't get it. She don't like you. I feel like she's proven that. I don't know why you keep on trying to be friends with this woman. I want to get like 4-5 comments, and then I want to get into Miami because I've been here too long. I've been here too long, but we had a lot of stuff to talk about. Let me get another super chat from Sebastian. Cha-ching. Thank you, Sebastian. Sebastian said, Nikki, not the glory hole. I mean, isn't that what it is? Like, what's Karen doing in the Bloomingdale's restroom? Glory hole. LOL, but you're right. That late tea is so delayed. And frankly, if Karen goes nuclear next season, they better accept it. They better. Thank you so much for the super chat, Sebastian. Give Me Shelter said, Nikki, you were going to discuss the Brandy Glanville versus Carolyn Manzo debacle. Absolutely. I'm going to go through everything rather quickly because we spent far too much time on Potomac, and I just do not have the time to do separate videos. So I'm going to put timestamps and everything, guys. Don't worry. Drewski said, I'm sure they would love to go to hell, but look at what happened to them, Candace and Wendy, every season. But this one, always getting blamed. Listen, they'll have Karen as a buffer. Karen will be the one that does the most damage. And Wendy and Candace, y'all have to let her do the most damage because she's like, she can take the beating, right? Y'all can. So, y'all can work together, but you have to let her go lower than you two. You guys have to be the sensible ones pulling her back. Like, Karen, come on. No, you shouldn't do this. Don't worry. She'll be fine. You will not. So that's how I need you guys to work together. You know what? Give Me Shelter. I will say, I've been seeing a lot of people say that about Garcelle. And I was like, I thought we all love Garcelle. But I've been seeing a lot of people say that they did not like that Garcelle, like you said, sold Crystal out last season. She brought up that Sutton thing. Garcelle, you did. I will say, though, I kind of got where Garcelle was coming from. Because Garcelle was like, if my friend is a racist, let me know so I know how to proceed. Right? And Crystal didn't do herself any justice because she just never, like, every time it was brought up, it was always something else. It was like, oh, that's what I was upset about. But she said another comment. Then they showed the picture of the full conversation. Well, it didn't happen then. It happened enough. Like, Crystal just did not help herself. But I will say, I have been hearing people say that, they didn't like that Garcelle threw Crystal under the bus. But I'm just like, if you want to tell me that my white friend is saying some racist stuff or some stuff that could be extremely problematic, let me know what it is so I know how to deal with my white friend or ex-friend at this point. Tracy, thank you for the super chat. Tracy said 10 Bay in a wig. Okay. Wants us to believe Karen pulled a Donna from Black Ink. Oh, remember Black Ink? That show got too wild for me. Too wild for me. Nothing about Karen gives me bathroom sex. Charisse and Karen were not friends before the show. This sex was season 1 or 2. Why not talk about it then? Agreed. Thank you so much, Tracy, for the super chat. Mackie, thank you for the super chat, says they could learn a thing or two from Monique in her burn book. Monique, I will say she left out like a G. I will never forget her performance at that reunion. She did so good. She did so good. When she read past the weed, what is his name? See, that's the thing. The only thing I know about him is that he wants to open up a weed store for Christians. Evangelical ganja. Anyway, her pastor boyfriend, when Monique read his number, she was like, his number is blank, 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 right? And I was like, yeah, that's his number. And Wendy, that's why they don't like Wendy. She has the best reactions because this is what Wendy is doing, I believe. I think that Wendy's reactions, she is known as the reaction person on this show. And I think her reaction is the reaction she believes that the viewers would have if they were at home watching this scene, right? And I think that's why she does so well, because the reactions that she has is absolutely our reaction. Because when Wendy went, I went, you know what I mean? When Wendy was like, I was like, I think that's why she's so good at that, because she knows what is expected, right? Or what will probably happen. She's good at that. And I will give her that. But Monique, woof, she left out in a blaze of glory. We will never forget that reunion. Asatu said, why are people expecting loyalty from Candace when Karen lied on Candace, threatening her to HR? Listen, I don't think they need to be besties or whatever, but I think that they need to have some kind of like, your enemy is my, if we got the same enemies, let's work together until we can get that enemy out. And then me and you can go back to not being cool like that, right? I think they need to call a truce. And I feel like they have kind of called the truce at this point and just agreed to work together, but they need to click up. And I do agree with you. Candace doesn't owe Karen any kind of loyalty. For what? You tried to get that girl fired. Now she's unfireable. So now everybody likes her. I hope you realize that, Candace. I hope you realize that. Now that things have changed for you, I hope you realize that. Thank you so much for the super chat, Asatu. I am going to get this comment from Dahlia, and then we're going to get into Miami, por favor. Dahlia said, I love Garcelle, but she is not immune to mess. True. I mean, if you're going to be on this reality TV show, everybody's going to have their day, especially a messy reality TV show. Garcelle could have took Crystal aside to handle the issue privately. Nope, she did it in front of the coven. She knows what she's doing. But again, does Garcelle owe Crystal any loyalty? Crystal always throws Garcelle under the bus. Always. So it is what it is. Let's move on to Miami, por favor. Andy, this show needs to be on Bravo. I hate the fact that so many people who watch Bravo have no idea that the ladies of the Real Housewives of Miami are killing it on Peacock. This episode, phenomenal. Chef's kiss. Lenny is having a midlife crisis. That's what it is. And I mean, I don't know why Lisa couldn't clock it from when he got his new teeth to when he sculpted them abs in his body. Then when he started getting them hair transplants, or it's a transplant, right? Hair transplant, whatever. When he started giving himself new edges, mama, you should have known that wasn't for you. Because if he was looking broke, busted, and disgusted when he was with you, and then all of a sudden he started to get this new stuff, and you ain't never complained about his body, his teeth, or his hairline before, now all of a sudden he's getting this stuff done. You should have clocked his teeth then. You should have known that something was going on. Shout out to Jacqueline from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Sis, I've been told you, that man is getting buffer and darker every season. When you got with him, he was light-skinned and he was not buff. Who was he doing that for? Your woman's intuition is kicking in. Stay focused on him. Stay focused on him. Anyway, he's absolutely going through a midlife crisis. Absolutely. That's what this is. And unfortunately, he's sacrificing his family for it. He don't even talk to his parents at this point because everybody in his life is like, dude, you're losing it. You're trying to put your wife and your kids out. When he told Lisa, I know you're not going to leave willingly. I'm going to have to force you out. You're going to have to be told to leave. So I'm just being nice to you. You really want to put your wife and her kids and y'all kids out for this little 19-year-old chick who's going to dump you when she gets something richer? Like, I feel so bad for Lisa. I feel so bad for Lisa because even when Lisa walked in that room, she told that man, she said, I might. Even though he did not want to be filmed, he still said to her, I know you're going to have to be forced out. Why would you say that? Why aren't you speaking to her? Like, she didn't do anything to you. I just feel like even if he doesn't want to be with Lisa anymore, Liddy is the one who broke up the marriage. You should be the one that's nice since you made the horrible decision. Why she got to be nice to you? And I hope every woman who is in a relationship that looks like a marriage, that looks like it's not going to be going on for much longer. I hope y'all watch this scene because when he said to her, you want to go through the courts? Fine. But I'm trying to give you a better deal. I'm trying to give you something that the courts will not give you. I was like, girl, keep this in the courts. Go through your lawyers, go through the courts, because I did not trust him saying that. I'm telling you, everything that he was saying to her was trying to convince her for them to settle it outside of the court. And I'm telling you right now, Lisa, you will not get what you need to get. If Lenny, the man who don't like you, the man who want to put you and y'all kids out on the MFing street, he's not going to give you the best cut that you can give. You work with a lawyer and you go for broke. Take that man for everything, and use this show as evidence. But the way he talked to that woman, the audacity. Adriana's man, where's she at? Because I forgot to put these people's pictures up. Where's Adriana? Adriana's man was right for getting Alexia together. He was absolutely right. When that man was just like a toast to people staying out of my business. Alexia was like, oh, that's for me? Are you talking about me? Because she was in on the toast and then she realized she was getting dragged. Oh, that's for me? Oh, wow. You're talking to women. Can you believe this? I'm so sorry about this accent. Is this how you talk to women? Oh my gosh. Por favor. I apologize. I apologize to the Latinos in the chat. I'll do better. I'm working on it. I'm working on my Alexia. But anyway, Adriana's man was right. Because for Alexia to be like, oh, I didn't scroll all the way down when I was looking up if your man was divorced or not. I didn't look all the way down to see that, his file was updated and he actually was divorced. But you're going to sit there and hold that, right? This man showed you proof. I don't need to see the proof. How dare you talk to women? I'm going to work on it. But she was wrong. She was absolutely wrong. And then to stand there in that stubbornness and be like, oh no, I hate when women do this. I hate when women do this because I feel like you abuse the work of women who are fighting for equality for all women, right? Because to sit there and say that you did not like that man said to you, can you read when he showed you the documents? I'm like, Adriana's man did not say anything to Alexia that was foul. He matched her energy. So because he matched your energy, Alexia, and got the best of you, all of a sudden you don't talk to women like that. You're literally on a reality TV show saying that this man is cheating on his wife when he is good and divorced with Adriana. He has every right to defend himself. So because he matched your energy, all of a sudden he's being violent to women. Girl, be for real. Be for real. And Adriana, you should have stayed there a bit longer with her. But I realized that Alexia is just such, listen, she's not my favorite, but she's good for the show. Why? Because she takes no accountability. She thinks that she's in charge of the girls. You can't tell her nothing. She's still living in her cocaine queen over here. She's still living in her cocaine queen heyday. She's good TV. She's good TV. So I will give her that. Oh, real quick before we get into that scene with the lawyer. This is why this show is so good. But let's talk about this real quick. So Alexia sets up this meeting with the lawyer, which I thought was a really good thing. She was just like, I realized that a lot of us, have been in relationships and in marriages, and we just did not know really what, because we came in as homemakers and we came in as stay-at-home moms. We really did not know what we were entitled to. And a lot of us got taken, right? A lot of us got taken advantage of by our husbands. And talking to Lisa, our ex-husbands, and talking to Lisa, I realized that, a lot of us need to sit down with the lawyer and find out what's going on with this process. What do we do? What do we not do? What do we need to do? What we shouldn't do? Should we leave the house? Should we stay? All of that. I thought it was a great idea. And I was just like, I hope a lot of women follow suit and do something like this if you have the funds, because this is very smart. It was a very smart thing to do. Terrible execution. But before we get there, Julia, I love how she's just on another planet and she's happy about it. Julia arrives and Alexia is just like, I'm so glad that you're here, because Julia talks about, being, she was talking about her experience coming out, being with women, having, her kids being made fun of because she is a lesbian, and, people just shunning her because she fell in love with a woman. And Alexia goes, I'm so glad that you said that, because you love women, right? Why did you let Adriana's boyfriend talk to me like that? What? That's why she's good for the show, because I was like, Alexia, how you got from here to all the way over there, baby, genius. Because I did not know where she was going. But to say, since you're a lesbian, why did you let that man talk to me like that? Girl, what? She's so good. Because that made no sense. Even Julia, who lives on Jupiter, was like, huh? That made no sense. I hear you say that you love women and you're a lesbian. That man yelled at me and you didn't defend me. Lesbian? Like, what? That made no sense. What was Julia supposed to do because this man matched your energy? Because she was a lesbian? Did you want her to beat him up? Like, Alexia, love her. Love her. She's starting to grow on me. If she's going to continue to be this bizarre, I'll take it. Anyway, this woman's empowerment meet with the lawyer scene was extremely bonkers, extremely chaotic. None of it made sense. Stellar camera work, stellar miking, because we heard everybody and it wasn't a cacophony. It wasn't like a cacophony of sounds. We were able to hear the lawyer. We were able to hear every woman have their own point of perspective. Like, it all made sense, right? Even in the midst of chaos. I was watching that scene in tears, and I immediately felt bad for everybody who does not have Peacock, because they missed one of the greatest scenes of reality TV. Reality TV. So Alexia, like I said, has this women's empowerment lawyer meeting. And this lawyer comes in to talk to the women about what they, are old or not old when they're going through a divorce. And this was to help out all the women, but especially Lisa. Lisa, whose life is falling apart, comes to this meeting, right? The women are all beefing. So they all said, to hell with Lisa and what's going on with her. I'm going to start sneak dissing the other women in the group. Let's start off with Dr. Nicole. Dr. Nicole was just like, I have a question. When somebody says that you are sleeping with everybody at your job, is that defamation of character? And Alexia was like, oh, we're not going to do this. We're not going to. No, that's not what this is for. Your husband is a lawyer, honey. He's a lawyer. So her and Dr. Nicole are going back and forth, and Nicole's like, that's defamation, am I right? Isn't that defamation? And Larson's just like, oh, girl, please. Oh, girl, please, right? So then Adriana pipes in, and she's like, well, what if somebody is lying about you being married when you're actually divorced? And Alexia was like, another time, honey. This is not the time. But this is all happening at the same time. So they're all screaming at each other. Then you have Marisol, who was like trying to calm everybody down. She's like, I have receipts, but everybody is screaming at everybody. So then they pipe down so Marisol can show Dr. Nicole the receipts that she was sleeping with everybody at the place. And Dr. Nicole is just like, well, I was separated and I started dating somebody at my job. Like, that is not me sleeping around. That's still defamation. So she starts screaming again. Then Alexia starts screaming at her. Then Larson's like, girl, bye. She's still in the corner saying, girl, bye. Marisol is standing up with the receipts like, ladies, let's come together. I need a drink. Then you have Alexia's son, who was looking down at all of these ladies in his living room screaming, and he's screaming at production, they're too loud, they're too loud. And you have the lawyer sitting there in the middle like, can we all just come together? And this went on for a good 3 minutes. A good 3 minutes. And if you don't have Peacock, you didn't see it. Bravo, what are you doing? Bravo, what are you doing? Y'all have been making the dumbest decisions over there, and I just do not understand why. The Real Housewives of Miami needs to be on Bravo. You need to bring back the Real Housewives of New York. I don't know what's going on over there. I do not know what's going on, but I feel so bad for everybody who does not have Peacock, because that scene was phenomenal. That scene was phenomenal. So anyway, Lisa finally pipes in and she's like, guys, this is for me. Can y'all all just shut up so I can get this information because I need it? So the ladies finally calmed down and Lisa was able to get the information that she needed concerning her marriage that is falling apart. Poor thing. Poor thing. I will say, I was watching this with my mom, right? And she looked at Lisa's daughter. She was just like, who's her father? And I was like, well, Lisa's Jamaican. So somebody from the family is piping up and jumping out that bloodline through that baby. But this was a good episode. They have been delivering the whole season. And I feel so sorry for you if you do not have Peacock. They're so good. They're so good. They're so she got 2 kids. Nothing wrong. Alexia was the one who was like, oh, I heard that he was married. That's all I heard, that he was married, girlfriend. That's all I heard. So he has now heard this, right, from Adriana, who is making this man that she's been in a relationship with for a while prove that he is divorced. So he comes and he's like, yo, so I hear you've been talking about me. Here's the receipts. I am divorced. And Alexia, oh, I didn't scroll all the way down to the bottom. Girl, you're wrong. And she's like, who needs to apologize? Me? Oh, I'm not apologizing, girlfriend. I meant everything that I said. You're wrong. You're wrong, Alexia. Like, you need to apologize, but you're so freaking stubborn. That man did not attack you. He matched your energy. You do not have to bring women in there. You do not have to call on lesbians to fight for you because a man disrespected you. Let me tell you something. Lesbians are not watched or guard dogs for straight women. Like, when did that start happening? Because that's news to me. So as a straight woman, if a man is disrespecting you, you call on your lesbian friends to defend you? What? Why? What about that makes sense? Now, I know a couple lesbians that I could absolutely call if, I want to, get somebody jumped, right? But they're studs. That's a different part of the community, right? You call them when you're ready, and they're studs from the Philadelphia inner city. So it's like, okay, they always ready to rumble, right? But I don't call them because of that, right? I call them because they're from the Philadelphia inner city. Like, that was just so ridiculous to me. Shout out to Alexia. She gave me the laugh of the day. Shout out to Alexia. Dahlia said, touche, Nikki. Crystal is disloyal. Is a disloyal housewife. If she could just have a backbone and stop lying, I'd like her for Team Garcelle. Me too. But I think Team Garcelle is going to be Kathy, Garcelle, and Sutton. I don't know where Crystal is. I can't trust where she's going to be. So who knows? Who knows? Yes, somebody said it. Yes. Classy lady, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's how they need to be on these reality TV shows, especially the Real Housewives. Y'all don't have to be besties, but y'all can join up together so the girls that's linking up together against you don't make you look like a fool every season. What's not clicking? Yes, Gertie is so great. Gertie is so great with her reactions. Her and Wendy, absolutely the same. Because Gertie's confessionals are hilarious. We got to work on Marisol with that drinking. It's not funny. It's not funny. Missy, you need to. It's hilarious. And it's good. It's a good show. Listen, I did not get into it until the Star family told me about it, because when I watched The Real Housewives of Miami back in the day, I wasn't interested. But the Star family was just like, you need to get into this. And they're right. They are right. It's a good show. Yasmin said, yes, Nikki. I don't know why people were saying that he did too much. He didn't. He was 100% accurate, especially when he asked her if she can read. Absolutely. She's kind of dumb, so it's a valid question. I tried, Elizabeth. Oh! I tried. Give Me Shelter said, Larsa said she was sleeping with everyone at the hospital. Larsa is the least accomplished woman on Miami. Larsa, I talked about this before, but this is the only thing that I can't take with her. I don't like how she just throws out a rumor when somebody is like coming at her for something, because I felt like Dr. Nicole was trying to bury the hatchet with Larsa. And Larsa was just still saying, well, I heard all of those rumors. And it's like, you are making a non-issue an issue with this woman. And I think that there is levels to how you need to fight. And I don't think that Larsa has any of those levels. I think Larsa just goes low immediately, like off grip. She just goes low before like finding out what actually happened. And then when she realizes that how her response, that she responded to something that wasn't that deep, she's like, oh, we can move forward. How can we move forward? You said that this woman and slept with everybody at the hospital. Like, how can you move forward? You should have got all of the information first before you responded that way. But that's just how she responds. And to say, everybody knows me, I was married to Scottie Pippen. Everybody knows Scottie Pippen. Like, we don't know everybody's fiancés and wives and kids and all of that nature. Like, reality TV changed the game. Because I guarantee you, nobody knew who all those basketball wives were aside from Tammy Roman until the reality TV show Basketball Wives. I had no idea who Shawnee O'Neal was until Basketball Wives. Like, I didn't know who Larsa Pippen was until the blogs. I found out some scandals about her. But, you know, a lot of people didn't know about her until the Real Housewives of Miami or the Kardashians. You see what I mean? So to like have this grudge against this woman because she did not know who you were was ridiculous because she didn't. Like, it makes sense. It makes sense. Reality TV has platformed a lot of people that were with very famous people, but you were behind the scenes. We did not know who you were, and that's not a bad thing. I'm team Dr. Nicole with this one. I hope she's not problematic because I like her. I like Dr. Nicole. I like Dr. Nicole. Cam Delete said the credit card Nicole put on the attorney's lap. She did this while everybody was screaming at each other. She said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to waste your time," because Alexei was just like, I did not pay him for this. I did not pay him for this, girlfriend. And she was like, "Let me get my card. Well, how much do you charge?" She gave the man the card. He was like, okay. He's sitting here holding her card like, oh, all right, come on, ladies, calm down. That poor guy. That poor guy. And I love it because I don't think that they're faking that. I think that that is just how they are. And I love when Dr. Nicole, she was just like, you know how terrible it is to say something like that about a Latina? Every time she said Latina, she leaned back and she was like, you know how damaging that is to say that about a Latina? Like, come on, for real. Oh, well, that was Jamaican. I'm working on it. Let's, before we get into Salt Lake City, because I know y'all do not watch it, but I have to talk about that mess. Let's talk about Carolyn Manzo and Brandi Glanville. So everybody's already talking about the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 4 because it's just so much drama, and it's because of Brandi. Here is why I believe that Bravo will never separate from Brandi, because she will cause a reaction, good or bad. Good or bad, she will cause a reaction because we have not even watched the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 3, and people are already saying, scrap season 3, let's get to season 4 because we want to know why Carolyn and Brandi Glanville went home. Carolyn Manzo and Brandi Glanville went home. Brandi's good for the network. I think they're going to keep her around. I think we actually might see her on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which, this is the thing. I think that Brandi is good for reality TV. I think Brandi is good when she's sober. Brandi, I don't know if you do have a problem, but it looks as if you have some kind of problem with alcohol when you were on these shows. I felt the same way about Kim Richards, who I feel like she was one of the women along it. Kim Richards, Nene Leakes, Vicki Gunvalson, and Bethany Frankel, in my opinion, are 4 women who have put Bravo on the map. I'm sorry, when you talk about any iconic or memorable scene from either of their seasons, they're always in the center, or they are the reactionary comedy for that scene, the comedic reaction for that scene. Those ladies are phenomenal. If I was them, I would have bought shares in Bravo a long time ago. They kept the lights on over there, right? They fed a lot of executives and their families, put a lot of their kids through school. So I don't say this without knowing that that the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is missing out extremely by not having Kim Richards on there, right? But Kim Richards, we saw, was not well. Like, something was happening. And I say this all the time. I would love to have her back on the show, but if she cannot remain sober on that show, then I'd rather have her healthy and off of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills than suffering, and we're watching this lady suffer for our entertainment. No. I feel the same way about Brandi. I think she's good. I think she's great TV. But when that woman starts drinking, it's not fun to watch. It's very concerning. It's very alarming. If she can remain sober, absolutely have her back on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because I feel like her sober scenes are going to be iconic. But then I feel like when she starts that drinking, she's going to remind the viewers of why she should not be on this show. And I feel like this issue on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 4 with her and Carolyn has to probably do with her drinking. So let's get into it. People magazine reports Brandi Glanville and Carolyn Manzo exited the Ultimate Girls Trip early after an unwanted kiss. Multiple sources close to the show tell People what was behind the Real Housewives star's departure from the Peacock series. Brandi Glanville and Carolyn Manzo departed the 4th season of the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 4 ahead of schedule. 3 sources close to the show tell People. The 2 reality stars were filming in Marrakesh, Morocco last week. Oh, nice. The second installment of the Peacock franchise Ex-Wives Club format, when, according to insiders, Glanville took things too far with Manzo during a party where there was alcohol, probably, kissing her multiple times throughout the evening without her consent. It was unwanted, a source says, and Carolyn's distress over the matter did not seem to stop Brandi. Things escalated and physical boundaries allegedly were crossed that Carolyn felt were serious and uncomfortable. Following the incident, a decision was made by production to report what happened to the higher-ups. Filming continued that night and into the next morning when Glanville, a second source notes, was made aware of Manzo's feelings and apologized via text messages. Still, a decision was made that afternoon, unbeknownst to Manzo, to remove Glanville from the trip early. Brandi's behavior was inappropriate, a third source says, so she was asked to leave. Later that night, Manzo decided she didn't want to film anymore and chose to exit the show on her own. She needed to process this outside of the reality TV environment, the first insider says. Co-stars Vicky Gunvalson, Eva Marcille, Phaedra Parks, Camille Meyer, Alex McCord, and Gretchen Rossi were supportive of her decision. The second source notes, as was production. Filming continued on the series and wrapped on Saturday night. Representatives for Peacock, Manzo, and Glanville have made no comment to People. Oh. See what I'm saying? She's good. She's good for reality TV. She crosses the line. Yasmin said Brandi is a liability. She may have done this. It's time. If she may have done it this time, if these rumors are true. There's only so many times you can cause an investigation by the network before they cut ties. This is the thing that's alarming to me. Carolyn deciding to leave on her own to process what happened, allegedly. If that turns out, and we've watched that on the show, or it comes, we see it in a trailer or whatever, I think Brandi may be done. I think Brandi may be done with Bravo, because it's like, you just can't have some, what? I was about to say you can't have somebody on the show crossing lines like that with, cast members, but Michael Darby did that and he remained on Potomac. So I don't know, but it just doesn't look good for Brandi. Helena said, most of the Atlanta cast should be thanked for putting Housewives on the map, to be honest, and to a lesser extent, New York. Yeah, the early days, early Orange County was phenomenal. Early Orange County was phenomenal. When Tamara threw that drink at Gina just sat there with that drink on her. Oh my goodness. And Tamara was going back for more. Like when the olden days, they were great. They got a little too big for their britches and it hasn't been as great as it used to be. But, when they were good, they were good. Megan said, nope, I do not trust a drunk or sober Brandi not to say or do something microaggressive on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She can stay home. Very true. Damn it, Brandi. Damn it. Carolyn, Give Me Shelter said, Carolyn isn't my favorite. Actually, I do not like her, but Brandi doesn't have the right to violate her boundaries. Now they are calling, oh no, Carolyn Manzo a homophobe. Unwanted interaction is an unwanted interaction. You know what? I can see that happening to her because this is the thing, right? She is from New York, not from New York, but she's from Jersey. She's tough. We have to be real here. She does not give off ally to the let God be let lie be great truly and quickly community. So, that leap, I can see that leap, right? But I don't think it's that. If this is true, right? And I pick from people because people they have good sources. If this is true, I'm with Carolyn. Like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. And if Brandy was under the influence and Carolyn told her the first time, and Brandy didn't apply, and, didn't respond to that, and Carolyn physically removed that woman from her, Team Carolyn. Team Carolyn. Like, that's inappropriate. Absolutely. You know what? So Steph, when she left on her own, I was just like, is she going to sue the network? Because she got assaulted by their cast member on their set. I don't know, so Steph. Shonda said, how was she homophobic because she doesn't want to kiss another woman? Yeah, I don't think she is, but I don't think she is, period. The assumptions, right? Because she fits the narrative. And I'm just talking real, right? She fits the narrative of someone who you do not think, based on her background, that would think like that. And that's not fair. That's extremely unfair. But I'm not surprised that people are saying that. And it's not because I have any receipts. She got homophobic teas on her. Not saying that she is, but it's like, I'm not saying I understand, because I don't want to be like, I agree with this. But you know what I mean? It's like she gives Archie Bunker in drag. That might not be the case, but she does give Archie Bunker in drag. She don't give Edith, she gives Archie. So people making that assumption, I'm not shocked by that. Not saying I understand, but I'm not shocked by that. But I don't think I don't think her saying don't touch me and leaving because she feels uncomfortable about this woman constantly violating her space is homophobic. Helena said, doesn't Carolyn have very close family members who are gay and lesbian? Oh, I don't know. But like the whole cast of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Like, come on. I'm a Black person and I watch that show and I just know. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I always tell you, I don't want a Black person on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. That show is going to get canceled in 2 seconds. I just got a feeling. I don't have no receipts, but I just got a feeling. Absolutely not. If you want that cast to stay on TV, do not diversify that show. Look at what happened to Jennifer. And she's Italian American passing. Helena said, I got Helena's comment. Drewski said, listen, I remember that one reunion when Andy called out the New Jersey cast for Joe's homophobia. If there is ever an editor on the Real Housewives of New Jersey that goes rogue, the stuff that we don't see. Ciao. Let's be real. All them ladies from the Real Housewives franchise, the Real Housewives universe, they are homophobic. And the reason why they are all protected, a lot of them are. Not all, but a lot of them are. And the reason why they are protected is because the gays love them. The gays go up for the Real Housewives, which is why when people were just like, I can't believe that Ramona is a Trumper. I'm like, you think that wealthy white women from New York City are allies to the gay community? You think that rich Black Christian women are allies to the gay community? You think that rich, kind of scamish Italian Americans are allies to the gay community? Like, let's be real here. We suspend our reality and our belief when watching this show, but I feel like we all at this point should know. We should know. Like, New York is very liberal, extremely liberal. But that's because the majority of the people that live in New York are broke. You think them rich people aren't Republicans? Get out of here. Are you kidding me? New York is hella red with the rich. Like, let's be real. Ramona wasn't the only Trumper on that show. She was the only one who was dumb enough to be vocal about it. Anyway, let me get out of here before I get in trouble. Tia B has said, I don't see Caroline as homophobic. Her brother is gay. Plus, people need to respect other people's spaces. Absolutely agree. Social Seth said, there are plenty of homophobic people with gay family members. Very true. Very, very true. Tisha says Caroline has a gay brother we saw on the show, and she was a big supporter of his relationship. We also saw his marriage on the show way back when. True. I miss Rosie. Remember when she was going to break Teresa in two at the reunion and Andy was scared? Andy was hiding behind the women because he was afraid of Rosie. Where is she? I'm going to murder her. Andy was like, oh, is she coming over here? Oh, Real Housewives back in the day. Girl, you couldn't touch him. Girl, you couldn't touch him. Oh, Tartar said, I don't know the last time I watched Housewives, but I stopped by because I miss you. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Helena said, Italian culture is very sus when it comes to race and minorities in general. LOL. It's very unfortunate, and I don't get it. Listen, I'm Black. I can't speak on that, but I'm a Black person from the city of Philadelphia who went to school in South Philadelphia. So I know a little something. I know a little something. And also lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. South Jersey. I know a little something. Helena also said, to be honest, I think a lot of Atlanta women are allies, except Phaedra. Yikes. She said some stupid stuff a lot, even on the show. Listen, I hate to say this. I'm going to say this, and then we're going to close out with Salt Lake City. There are a lot of women, and women, I have to tell the truth, who get encouragement, get gassed up, feel safe around, and get exquisite services from people within the Let God Be a Greatly, Truly, and Quickly community, LGBTQ community, right? Who will have a gay bestie and marry the most homophobic man on the face of this earth. So for me, my thing is, you cannot be an ally and voluntarily lay with someone who is homophobic. For me, your allyship is canceled out. You, in my opinion, you cannot be an ally and you continue to attend a religious space that preaches the annihilation and removal and the demonizing of people from the community that your gay bestie identifies with, right? So just because LaMarcus can give you a sickening 24-inch bust down weave with the nice little baby hairs, and you love him and you tip him and y'all go out and you have a great time. If you are laying with that man or attending that religious gathering and applying those beliefs to how you rear your child, or saying that you agree but not with LaMarcus because that's my friend, you're not an ally. And I feel like that's what a lot of these housewives do, right? They have a gay bestie. They go to all of these, events, they host events with drag queens, right? But yet you're voting for politicians who are removing books that have anything to do with the LGBTQ community, right? Or you're saying, I agree with this politician, or I agree with this belief system that something is wrong with this community, but I love LaMarcus, right? I love Yakshon, right? I love George Michael's music. Sam Smith is amazing. But you're agreeing with these things. So you're not an ally, right? You just like what that person does for you. You just like what that person gives you, or how that person makes you look better than you looked when you did not walk into the room with them, right? So that's what I think. And that's how I feel like that's with a lot of the housewives. I do not think that a lot of them are allies. I absolutely do not believe that. You can't be an ally and then you literally put on the reality TV show that you are on a scene called Girls. What was it? What was that event that Nene had? Girls in a gay bestie or something like that, where the accessory was a gay black man. What the hell was that? Like, bring your purse and you're gay. You might think you're an ally. You're not. Right? You might think you're an ally, but your husband is posting the most homophobic things on Facebook. And you're like, well, that's just how he grew up. That's what he thinks. You're laying with him. You think like that too. You're creating life with him. You think like that as well. I've said enough, but that's what I think. I think they think they're allies, but they're not. A lot of them. And I think we all would just have a much better time if we just realized that and just enjoyed the show for what it was. And just enjoyed the show for what it was. But if you think that the cast of The Real Housewives of New York is not voting against the interests of the LGBTQ community, guys, I got another thing for you. I got a bridge to Mecca that I could send you, that I could sell you. Said, this is Teresa. She got 2 kids, D. She is whoever her man is at the moment. And Joe was very homophobic. I don't know that to be true, but I wouldn't be surprised. So Seth said, I had some of the worst encounters with white people when I lived in Philly, and I'm from the South. Listen, Philly is so blue, it's black. But let me tell you something. We got our racial issues. We got our racial issues. Oh, it's happening. I'm watching Florida give me shelter. I am watching Florida, and that every American should be concerned about what's happening in Florida, because I'm telling you, they always start with us. Every marginalized community. Let me tell you something. The LGBTQ community, the Jewish community should be the Asian community should be, the Latino community. I know y'all be voting for the mofos over there, but you need to be very, very afraid of what I was going to say Santos. That scammer DeSantis is doing in Florida right now. I'm telling you, they always start with us. You will not be exempt. You are not special. They start with us to test the waters to see how everybody else feels. And when you think that you are safe, stay woke. Stay woke. Anyway, I'll end with Helena, then we'll get into Salt Lake City. Helena said, Nikki, this is why I love your recaps. You bring so much intelligence and interesting combos in regards to something as simple as reality TV. Talent. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just don't want, I want us all to enjoy the shows that we watch and have a good time, but I just don't want people to be misled. Any show that you are watching and it's about wealthy people, they are absolutely anti-you. Just know that. Just know that. If they have to choose their dollars over you, they're choosing their dollars. Because the way, I only know about America, the way the wealthy stay wealthy in America is making sure they oppress the 99%. And who are the most vocal 99%? It is the LGBTQ community, it is the Black community, it is the people of color community. So those communities continue to stay oppressed and within a certain class because they're so vocal, because they get stuff done. And if you think these rich women on these reality TV shows are not a part of that community that is oppressing them, like I said, I got a bridge to Mecca to sell you. Let's get into, shout out to my sister. She said, I agree. Nikki.Star is very, very intelligent and truly gifted. Thank you for supporting Nikki.Star TV. Thank you, sissy. Let me close out with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This show cannot survive without Lisa Barlow. However, Lisa Barlow cannot carry the show on her back. Bravo, I'm telling you right now, you have a problem. And I don't think it's production, right? I think the production for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is phenomenal. I think they are, sorry, my lips is getting dry. Where's my chapstick? I think they are phenomenal at their job. I think, unfortunately, for this show, they lost two very interesting characters, right? And now they have two unusual characters left on the show, and it just will not work. The two unusual is Lisa Barlow and Whitney. Whitney is unusual. She's not a strong unusual. Lisa is unusual. She's a strong unusual. But she's not strong enough to carry, her unusual is not strong enough to carry the show on her back, and she shouldn't, right? Because that would apply too much pressure to this woman, and she would eventually break off of that, right? Because in order for this show to stay interesting, Lisa Barlow would have to beef with all of the women every freaking episode. That's exhausting, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody, right? Because when you're watching the season and then you get to the reunion, the star of this reunion is not the person that is about to do a 6.5-year bid in prison. The star is Lisa Barlow. Why is the star Lisa Barlow? Because she is getting the girls together flawlessly, right? She's sitting here cussing out Heather, and then she says, can I get a drink, please? I need a glass of water. I can't. Why did I make her? I need some water. I'm sorry. I'm Philadelphian. That's how I pronounce water. So water. I need some water, please. And then she gets Heather together again, right? While Meredith is trying to sneak diss her and say something about her concerning Jen, she's over here listening to Andy and listening to Whitney talk about the situation, but her ear is also clocked in to what Meredith and Heather are saying about her concerning Jen. So she's sitting over here listening, and then she looks over and she says, you know what? She can have you. I don't want you to. And then she clocks back over, and I'm like, she's phenomenal, but she's by herself. I would not call her iconic. I need more. I need to see more. But she's phenomenal, but she's by herself. She's by herself. Like, she cannot do this on her own. And Whitney is not strong enough to carry the unusual, right? Because as soon as Whitney gets in any kind of conflict, she shrinks back, and no shade, but she's so freaking bizarre. You have to have something there to ground her, right? Mary was a strong unusual, but she was a strong unusual that could read. She was a strong unusual that was quick like Lisa Barlow, and she wasn't an unusual that would shrink in the midst of conflict. Her unusual got bigger. And I feel like because her unusual got so big, these ladies got jealous and hated on her and did what they had to do to get that woman off the show, instead of saying, let me play off of this, instead of pulling a Wendy Heather and reacting to the bizarre stuff that came out of Mary's mouth, you decided to get on this hate train to get this woman off the show. Now you have a season like this, because what the hell are we going to talk about in season 4 with no Jen Shah? Heather's storyline this season was a choir. Whitney is on her billionth healing journey. What are we going to talk about? Like what? Meredith. Y'all know I love me some Meredith. That girl can dress. But the fact that she just acts like she's so above the mess and she's on a reality TV show. Well, I heard some things. I mean, they were just rumors. I didn't. Girl, own it. I was talking crap about Lisa because I was mad about her hot mic moment. So I came into the show guns blazing, talking about her life because I was upset. Instead of saying, oh, I just heard some rumors. I just wanted to, girl, own it. Because if you think you're so above this, why are you on this show? So I feel like Salt Lake City is in trouble. And I don't think it's their production. I think they have a strong production team over there, but they're just not working with a lot. Like the Angies, dry. Both the Angies, Angie K and Angie Boren, just dry. Like they just do not have anything. Dana, I mean, she had a good scripted read, but she did not know how to deliver the read, which is why Bravo cut that read that she gave to Jen Shah. You guys were so upset. Where is she at? I still don't have her up here. You know, Dana, the heifer that was dressed like a Power Ranger at the reunion. She was the one who told Jen, you should be nice to me so I can put some money on your books or something like that. And it just didn't land. And I think that's why Bravo cut it. And everybody was like, oh my goodness, why did y'all cut out what Dana said to Jen? The show was protecting Jen. The show was protecting Dana because their read, excuse me, their read was dry. So dry, I sneezed. It was just a dry read. And I think it was just her delivery. She just did not, I think that maybe that's not how Dana talks. And I think she knew that she probably had to do something like that for the show. But it just, none of her attempts to come for Jen or to get in the mix worked because I just don't think that that's her character. And that's fine. Not everybody is built to be messy on a reality TV show. That's a good trait to have, right? That I just cannot be messy. Wonderful. But if you're going to be on a reality TV show, you need to give us something more, right? You should be nice to me because I got money and I'm going to have to put some money on your books. It didn't land. And she's just not cut out for messy reality TV. And that's not a read, Dana. That's a good trait to have. And so that's why I feel like this show is flawed. And I feel like this show is in trouble because they just do not have strong unusuals. I think Heather is trying to get into the strong unusual, but that's just not her character. Like Heather's a straight man, right? When I say straight, it's a character that is needed on the show because they are the audience reaction, which is why in all of Heather's confessionals, she's talking to the audience, but she's just parroting back what we would be saying about what's happening. She is the reality. She is the common sense out of all the craziness that's happening around her. But if you just don't have anything unusual to bounce off of, then what are we watching? What are we watching, right? Because in Heather's attempt to be unusual, she just became annoying. And the unusual attempt was this black eye thing that she was keeping, going for attention. I knew from the jump that Heather got drunk because you could see her, trying to make it from the door when she came into her room. I knew that she got drunk and she probably hit her head and either didn't remember or did remember and was embarrassed, right? But to get all the way to the reunion and sit in your confessionals and act like the show was protecting the person that assaulted you, to get to the reunion and say, oh, I just lied because I didn't want to tell the truth because I have Mormon shame. Not at your big age. That's not okay. And then to allude that maybe Jen Shah punched you in the eye. That's why, you didn't want to say anything because you didn't want to accuse your friend of harming you because she's also about to go to prison and you were just being the good guy. That didn't sit right with me. And I'm not defending Jen Shah, but what I'm saying is Heather knew what happened with her eye, right? But it's better for her to act like she may have been assaulted by Jen Shah or, the show is the people are trying to protect her than to say, I just got drunk and I fell. Like what more Like, what more could you be embarrassed by? You've been on this show in lingerie twerking. You've been on this show, you know, in lingerie, throwing Whitney around a kitchen set. Like, you've done embarrassing things on this show. So the whole Mormon shame bit, I'm not buying, because the Mormon shame didn't kick in when you were in lingerie on all fours twerking. It kicked in when you got blackout drunk and didn't remember. I'm not buying it, because remember, you started off with us with saying that you're a bad Mormon. So why is the Mormon shame kicking in season 3 and not season 1? Remember, you introduced yourself to us. I'm a bad Mormon. I like everything that the Mormon church hates: black men, alcohol, and mess, and drama, or something like that. So where was the shame then? I'm just not buying it. It just does not make sense to me. I'm just not buying it. Speaking of another thing I'm not buying is Lisa and Meredith. Either be friends or be mortal enemies at this point. Y'all got to figure it out. I'm not going to do the dance back and forth with them on season 4 if they get another season, with them being friends or not being friends. Hello? Oh my God, is that my handyman? And I can't act like I didn't hear him. Damn it. Hold on. I might have to get out of here. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, I'm back. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about this season. I just think that this isn't working. I don't think this reunion needed to be a 3-part. I felt like what we got on this reunion was enough, and I think that the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City just needs to figure out what they're going to do from this point on. You lost Jen Shah, you lost Mary. What are you going to do? I think if anything, they need to try to get Mary back. I think Mary was a good asset to the show. They just have to work on her xenophobia. Like, you know, Mary, you had a little problem. So, I mean, I think if they get her back, that might be the saving grace for the show, but I'm just not sure what they're going to do in season 4 that will make people want to watch. I think the viewership just continues to drop. And again, I don't think that this is a production problem. I think this is a casting issue. And I don't think that the casting is doing the new casting is doing them any kind of justice. So, so let me get a couple of your comments and then I got to get out of here. Helena said, aren't there Black Mormons, or am I wrong? There is. I only know about one, and she was on Love After Lockup, and she would have been great for the show, but I don't think she has the coins. I think it's, to be honest with you, I think Salt Lake City is having a really hard time finding rich people who are not a part of the Mormon community, or who are a part of the Mormon community, who do not have an issue putting their business out there and being a bad Mormon on reality TV. That's why I was just like, I don't understand why they picked this location that has so many limits to it. I think they would have done a lot better in Vegas. I don't know why they went to Utah. And I think they're having a really difficult time casting interesting people who are comfortable with embarrassing themselves on reality TV. To be quite honest with you, that's the job. So I just don't know if they're going to be able to find anybody else, because who they are finding are just very dry. And I think the characters like the Marys or whatever are just wouldn't do the show. They wouldn't risk it. They wouldn't risk shame within the Mormon community. They wouldn't risk their money. Mary was a great character, but unfortunately, she put herself and her church on the map, and people ask questions, rightfully so. Rightfully so. So you have to look out for that. But I think they're having a terrible time in casting, because if they put out the casting call and the best that they can do is both of these Angies and Dana, I think this show was in trouble. Jay Pena said, "Oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in a long time. Your hair looks great and you look beautiful." Jay, thank you. Thank you so much. Simply Simone said, "I'm surprised they even got a season 4. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they scrap it mid-production like the rest of these shows." I mean, if they're scrapping Real Housewives of New York Legacy, I would be very afraid if I was a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City cast, because when I heard that Legacy was scrapped, I was like, "Ooh, Bravo ain't scared. Something's going on over there where they are just getting rid of these shows left and right." And I'm kind of concerned for Salt Lake. I'm kind of concerned, and it sucks because they put a powerhouse together in production to really make that show what it was. But I felt like that production is only as good as the cast. And I just think the cast is not delivering. These new people, you can't give us Mary and then give us Dana or the Angies. Like, you just, or you can't give us Mary and then give us, Jenny, like the queen of anti-Blackness. So I don't know. I do not know what they're going to do. Will Small said, "What is a don't say Black bill?" Talking about DeSantis. He claims African-American studies is not educationally valuable. Cultural studies are important part of American history in contemporary America. No, what he's saying is that he's saying that he's removing the homophobic parts of African-American studies. And because Florida, essentially, not all, but enough where there's not a pushback, is okay with the removal of anything concerning the LGBTQ community, he's able to get away with that. That's why I always say marginalized communities, when another marginalized community is being oppressed, this isn't the time for you to mind your business and put your head in the sand. You need to start looking out. I don't care if you don't want to rock with that community, but you need to help them fight that fight, because you need to look out for yourself, because you're always next, right? Because this has been in play. DeSantis has been going after the LGBTQ community for a very long time. Now he has used his leverage to go after the Black community. And there'll be another community after that. To be honest with you, I don't know what it's going to take marginalized communities to just come together and fight as one. I don't know what it's going to take. But Lord, I hope I'm not around to find out. Give Me Shelter said, "I don't think Mary will come back. They might as well scrap the show." I think you're right. I think you are right. Give Me Shelter said, "Salt Lake City should try to focus on mommy bloggers." Yes, they need to go young. They need to go young Mormon. The mommy bloggers are a mess. Remember I told you about that TikTok Mormon orgy? Girl, go with the young ones. They the messiest ones. Let me get 2 more and then let me get out of here. Will Smalls also said, Salt Lake City was an unfunny joke. The fact they said Mary was not the show is interesting when they had to bring in 3-day players to replace Mary and it still didn't work. Mary was a gem. This is the thing. When you get a gem like that, you got to work with them. You have to work with them, because unfortunately, Bravo is finding out that the show cannot really do well without her. She's a really important part of that show. No shade. I'm not trying to, give her, more than she needs, but she's essentially the Nene Leakes of Salt Lake City. let's be real. The Real Housewives of Atlanta has not been the same since she left. And to be honest, they weren't the same when she was there. When Nene came back after her stint in Hollywood, she just wasn't the same. She wasn't. So that's where we're at with them. So we will see. Yeah, she was. She was. But see, this is the thing why that's dangerous, Drewski, because she wasn't investigated for potentially running the cult. The ladies were saying that she was running the cult. And I'm not saying that that's dangerous for you. I'm saying it's dangerous for the other cast members. Because if you're going to say that her cult of her, her church or whatever is a Christian cult, then she could probably turn around and say the same thing about, what your church is doing. So I feel like unless it's like former members saying something, I'm not going to listen to, the ladies on the show call what Mary is doing, her church being a cult or whatever. I've seen some things from it, and it's very odd to me. But I feel like a lot of the things that the ladies were looking at that they were calling cultish is stuff that happens in a Black church, right? Expressionism that happens in a Black church. So that could just be, that could be dangerous. That could be dangerous for them to go off of those, that way of thinking without having actual receipts. Listen, I know people hate it, and I know they say, please stop, telling me to vote, but we are always an election away from becoming Florida. Always an election away for becoming Florida. Let me get Missy. One more, and then I really, really got to go because I got to get out of here. Missy said, who approved that choir storyline? They need to go. If Salt Lake gets another season, it should be on Peacock. They need to recast or to bring Mary back. Listen, it may be time to put Salt Lake on pause and go to Vegas. They need to go to Vegas. I was going to say Boston. Yikes, that would get canceled. They need to do Vegas. They need to do Philly. Where else could they do? Vegas, Philly. Bring Australia back. I thought that was a good show. Vegas, Philly, Australia. I'm trying to find a messy city. You know what? Seattle. Seattle might be good. Them people are messy and kooky. So that might be good. That might be good. Who knows? But I think they need to pack up Salt Lake. I don't think you can do too much. I don't think they can do too much there. I really, really don't. Helena said Whitney is the worst to me. The sound of her voice makes me choke. That vocal fry is a lot. A lot. Let me in with So Seth. So Seth said Jen and Mary was the show and they both gone. I love me some crazy Jen. Listen, I don't agree with Jen Shah and I don't agree with a lot of things that Mary did, but unfortunately they were too strong unusual characters that this show just lost. So I'm saying I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're going to do, but keep them in your prayers. Let me get out of here. I got a lot to watch because I got to get out a bit earlier because I have to watch this and I have to put timestamps in. So let me get out of here. Thank you all so much for joining me. I will do my best to see you tomorrow. If not, I will see you Thursday. We will see. Next week will be a lot better because I can do a lot more. But this week is just really tight because of my shows. But I'll be a lot freer next week. So I'll see you then. Thank you for sticking with me for as long as we have been here. I really appreciate it. I'll try to break these up starting next week. But just because of the time that I have, I can't just break them up. But thank you all for understanding. And thank you for sticking with me. I love you. I'll see you. We are pro-ho over here. We are pro-LGBTQ. We are pro-Black. We are pro-sex worker. So, yeah, that's where I stand. Let's not make any confusion, and I hope I cleared up everything in the beginning concerning Juan and that lady trying to get on the show. If not, I'm always on Instagram. Hit me up there and we can have another discussion about it deeper, if you will. Love you all. See you soon. Bye. Whoo, we've been talking forever. My legs are